I say, even if I worry. The comic store is across the road. Charlie has to cross a very busy street to get there. Have you eaten? Chris is a good cook. She's making macaroni and cheese tonight. Sounds good. I tie an apron around my waist and set to work cooking dinner and cleaning the kitchen. Dirty dishes are stacked on every surface. The trash can needs a good scrub and the floors a wash. Chris has never been tidy, but she spends every free second in the practice. An hour later, the kitchen is spotless and the lounge and bedrooms vacuumed. I'm busy putting clean linen on the beds when Chris enters, looking shattered. Dinner's ready. I pull out a chair by the small table in the kitchen where Charlie's already seated. She looks around and shakes her head. You didn't have to. Are you kidding? After what you're doing for Charlie? Yeah. Her eyes are probing. We need to talk about that. I glance at my brother and give her a pointed stare. After dinner. Okay. Later, when I've tucked Charlie into bed, I take the clean laundry from the dryer and start folding it. Chris takes 2 beers from the fridge, cracks the cans, and hands me one. She leans on the counter and props a foot on the cupboard door. So, care to tell me about this new job of yours? I take a long swig from the beer before I face her. There's nothing more to tell. Her eyes narrow on me. How long? 9? 9 months? Years, I say from behind the beer can. She sprays the swallow of beer she's just taken all over the clean floor. Jesus, Val! She shoves a hand into the pocket of her jeans and stares at me with an open mouth. I know. It's not like I have a choice. I don't go into the gritty details. Hold on. Are you telling me you're his live-in maid for the next 9 years? Yes. I dab up the spilled beer with a paper towel. She starts pacing the floor. What about your studies? I'll still carry on. She stops. Will you manage? I'll have to. It's a lot of studying, a fucking lot of studying. I know. Did you sign a contract? I don't need a contract. Paper is worthless to men like him. His word is enough. How does this agreement work? The salary he would have paid me goes to settling the debt. How could he approve a loan for Charlie? I mean, Charlie, of all people. There must be a law that prevents institutions from granting loans to disabled people. I never declared Charlie incompetent. A big oversight on my part. In any event, fighting him with the legal system won't work. You know every judge in this country is corrupt. The man with the most money always wins. Fuck, Val. There must be something we can do. Look, I can't change it. I have to make the best of it. If you're working for him for nothing, how will you afford your studies? He's giving me an allowance. It'll be enough to pay the portion the bursary doesn't cover, and I was kind of hoping you'll keep me on for Sundays. You're going to burn yourself out. That's rich coming from you, Miss Workaholic. She smiles. You know I'll do whatever to help. I'll pay for Charlie's food and expenses. I don't expect you to put him up for nothing. Forget about it. It's not up for negotiation. I hesitate. 9 years is a long time. Don't worry about Charlie. He's welcome here for however long it takes. Thank you, Chris. A heavy weight lifts off my shoulders. I don't know what I would have done without you. What about your flat? I'm selling it. There's no point in keeping it if it's going to stand empty. Good luck. You'll battle to give it away for free. I sigh. I know. Listen, about Charlie. I twist the tip of my trainer on the floor. He told me about the comic store. It's a busy road, Chris. I taught him to wait for the green light. We did a few practice rounds together. You've got to let go a little. Give him some freedom. I know you feel protective and it's understandable, but you have to push him to be as autonomous as possible. I swallow. I just don't know. I feel responsible. She leaves her beer on the table and takes my shoulders. It's not your fault. It was an accident. You have to let it go. I wipe at the unwelcome tears in my eyes and look away. I know. Hey, she wipes my face with her palms. Everything's going to be all right. It'll work out. You'll see. Sure. I only say it to placate Chris, because once she's on a roll, she won't stop until she believes she has me convinced. Chris is the queen of positive thinking, and for that, I'm as grateful as I am for her giving me a job and taking Charlie in. Come on. She hooks her arm around mine and drags me to the lounge. Let's watch a stupid sitcom and laugh ourselves silly. I don't know. I pull back. I have to get to the flat. What? Now? She points at the window. It's pitch black dark outside. How will you get there? I'm not letting you out of this house tonight. You can bum on the couch. By the way, I cleaned up your place and emptied out the fridge. Tears of gratitude stream over my face. I really need to put a cork in it, but it's as if the damn wall has broken. Now, she hugs me tightly. Tomorrow is another day. I work all Sunday in the practice, and after buying a few groceries to stock up Chris's cupboards, I head out to Berea in a minivan taxi before it gets dark. The agent I called that morning is waiting for me in front of the building when I arrive. I wonder about Jerry, but I already see from the street his windows are dark. When we exit the stairs on my floor, my heart lurches. The door stands ajar. Wait, the elderly gentleman says, pushing me aside. He takes a pistol from the waistband of his pants and nudges the door open with his shoe. Chaos greets us. Every single cupboard is open. Broken crockery is scattered over the floor. The mattress is shredded, foam peeling from the cuts in the fabric. The cushions have been destroyed too. He lowers the gun. Is there anything valuable gone? I shake my head. There was nothing, except for our kitchen utensils. Why would anyone do this? Destruction. They don't need any other reason. We study the door together. It's not broken. The bastards picked the locks, he says, confirming my deduction. As I start sweeping up broken glass and porcelain, the agent inspects the ruined space. He ums and ahs, testing the taps and the button to flush the toilet. Everything looks clean, he finally says. But it's tough selling in Berea these days. My heart sinks. Even if I know no one in their right mind will buy a place in the heart of Drug Valley, and those who'll risk it here don't pay rent. They simply take or vandalize. Can you try? I really need the money. Don't we all? What about the furniture? I'm having it picked up by a pawn shop. Chris gave me the contact. They offered me a few bucks for our belongings. I'll keep in touch. After he's gone, I ensure the fridge is empty and have a shower before I switch off the geyser. Tomorrow, I'll have the electricity and water cut. It's additional bills I don't have to worry about. The money will go to Chris to help pay for Charlie's part of the living expenses. Tonight is the last night I planned on spending here, and I never want to come back. When I'm done paying Charlie's debt, I'll join Chris in her practice and get Charlie and me a place of our own. Chris promised me a full partnership when I graduate from vet school. It takes a good couple of hours to clean up the flat, after which my grumbling tummy reminds me I haven't eaten since lunch. I drink a glass of water, but the hunger pains won't go away. There's nothing in the cupboards. The thieves took all the tinned and dry food that was left. There's $10 in my bag from the allowance Gabriel paid me, but I need it for taxi fare. I turn the broken side of the mattress onto the bed frame and make the bed, trying not to think about food. I double-check that the door is locked. The new door is sturdy and comes with a deadbolt on the inside, which I slide into place. It gives me a small amount of added security. Sometime during the night, there's a thunderstorm. I lie awake, watching the lightning run across the sky and listening to the drops falling on the roof. I long for Charlie and Puff. A selfish part of me wishes they were here so that I could hold them in my arms, while the logical part of me is happy that they're free from this hell. It's a miracle that I'm here, unbound, that despite my debt, I have a measure of freedom. It gives me hope. Maybe Magda has some fairness inside of her. My thoughts drift to Gabriel as I fall asleep, and my dreams are filled with disturbingly erotic images of his scarred body. When the alarm on my phone goes off at 5, I haven't slept much, but I can't risk being late for work. The gangs and criminals are mostly active at night. At this time, most of them will be passed out from alcohol or drug abuse. There's little chance I'll run into unfavorable elements on the street. After brushing my teeth and washing my face, I pull on my clean dress. I lock the door, drag the trash bags with our broken crockery downstairs, and hit the streets. My trainers fall quietly on the pavement as I dodge the potholes filled with water. The air's fresh after the rain, with steam coming off the tar. There's a quiet after the storm, leaving me peaceful and calm. But my tranquility doesn't last long. A little way down the street, a tall, slender figure emerges from between two buildings. Chapter 7. My heart lurches in my chest. Maybe he hasn't seen me. I clutch the bag to my body, searching for a side road to slip into, but it's too late. The man heads straight for me. I know that step. There's a slight bend to his knees, and his arms are spread wide. My breathing quickens, and my body breaks out in a sweat. But I lift my chin and give him a defiant stare when he stops in front of me. "Well now," Tiny says, "if it ain't Little Red Riding Hood." I don't have time for your games. I try to move past him, but he grabs my arm. "No time for Tiny? My, are you an uppity ass now? Unlike you, I work. Let me go, or I'll be late." "High and mighty, huh? Tiny heard you left. Tiny was watching your flat, waiting for you." His words shake me. I didn't run into him by chance. He waited for me. "Tiny." I wanted it to sound like a warning, but there's a wheeze in my voice. "You still owe Tiny. You'll always owe Tiny. Tiny has waited long enough." He starts dragging me by my arm toward an alley. I kick in my heels and try to pry his fingers open, but his grip is like steel. Panic gets the better of me. This time is different. If he was going to fuck my mouth, he would have done it in the street, as always. "Tiny, no!" "You can scream all you like. Nobody gives a fuck." He shoves me down the foul-smelling alley all the way to the end where the exit is blocked by overflowing trash cans and rips the plastic bag from my hands. Peering inside, he takes out my purse, drops it on the ground by his feet, and throws the rest onto the heap of garbage. "Come here, white bitch." He takes a wide stance and feels his way up under my dress, dragging his sweaty palms over my hip and stomach. Oh, God, I'm going to be sick. "Don't!" "Or what?" My defenselessness infuriates me. The anger boils over. I pull back and punch him on the jaw as hard as I can. For all of 1 second, he's off balance, but before I'm one step away, he grabs my arm and throws me against the wall. My back hits the bricks with a thud. He slaps me so hard my ears ring. Fucking bitch. I scream and scratch, my fingers going for his eyes while my knee aims for his crotch, but he catches my wrists above my head and presses my body to the wall with his weight. "Wanna fight?" he hisses, the repugnant air from his mouth fanning my face. "Let me go!" He laughs and shifts, holding me secure with one hand to stick the other down the front of my panties. "What have you been doing with this cunt, huh?" His fingers drag over my clit, parting my folds. I press my knees together, but it's no use. He wiggles his fist until it's lodged between my legs, forcing my thighs open. He licks my neck, inviting a shiver of repulse. "Tiny's going to fuck you so hard, you're going to forget your name." His upper body crushes me. I almost sigh in relief when he pulls his hand from my underwear, only to cry out in despair when he shoves his pants down over his hips. "Please, no, not this." He knocks my knuckles into the wall, but I hardly feel the pain. I need to fight. I struggle like a mad person, which only makes him laugh. By the time he has his dick out of his underwear and my dress hitched up to my waist, I'm already panting from the exertion of fighting him, while he hasn't even broken into a sweat. "Tiny." The plea falls from my lips while tears stream down my cheeks. "Yeah, say my name, bitch." When he rubs up against me, I bite my lips so hard I taste blood. The fear I fought against my whole life finally gets to me, making my throat constrict and my heart pump with furious beats. It's difficult to breathe. It happens all over again. The man who raped me. I fight the images that play over in my mind, but I'm back in the bar where the men dragged me, on my back on the pool table, while the one with the deep voice unzips his fly and the rest watch. I'm in a zone where I don't want to be, but I can't come back. Tiny's hand is around his flaccid cock, pumping it to life, but I already feel the tear in my body and the dribble of blood running down my legs. "Get your hands off her!" The voice that spoke isn't part of that memory. The men cheered him on. They didn't tell him to remove his hands. They were filming it, laughing as I cried. "Now!" The deadly calm in the baritone voice is dangerous. It's like this morning's quiet before the storm. Tiny freezes, bringing my attention back to him, to the present. He drops his penis and lifts his hands, glancing over his shoulder as he takes a step back. "Easy, man," he says in a thin voice. "You're interrupting our fun." "Fun?" The tall, broad figure in the dark steps forward, a gun aimed at Tiny. His face is in the shadows, but I know it's him. I know his voice, his shape, his smell, his very presence. "Doesn't look like she's having fun," Gabriel says. "Whoa!" Tiny laughs nervously. "You've got it all wrong here. Tiny ain't doing nothing wrong. She's Tiny's bitch, ain't you, honey? Come on, love." He jerks his head in Gabriel's direction. "Tell them, man." Gabriel moves so fast I don't see it coming. The 1 minute he's standing at the entrance of the alley, and the next he's in front of Tiny, hitting him in the stomach with a punch that sends him flying through the air and falling in the gutter water. Gabriel steps over him, pointing the gun at his head. "Oh, fuck." Tiny lifts his hands. "I'm sorry, bro. I didn't recognize you." Gabriel cocks his neck, cracking a bone. "Apologize." "I'm sorry, Mr. Louw. Really I am." "To her, not to me, you prick." Tiny licks his lips, glances at me briefly before returning his gaze to the gun. "Sorry. Tiny didn't know you and Mr. Louw are friends." "Friends?" Gabriel utters a cold laugh that vanishes as quickly as it started. "She's property." Tiny gulps and starts crying. "Fuck, man." I'm shivering in my dress, feeling like I'm stuck in a very bad dream. "Valentina." The firm way in which Gabriel says my name commands my attention. "Walk to the street and wait on the corner." "No," Tiny says, shaking his dreadlocks, snot running from his nose. "Please, fuck, no." Gabriel is going to shoot him. "Gabriel, please." I take a step toward him. I need to find a connection with him, to reason with him. "Please, look at me." He doesn't look away from Tiny. "I won't tell you again. Leave the alley and wait at the corner." I start crying myself, touching Gabriel's arm. "He's not worth it. Don't." I can't live with myself knowing I'm the reason for another man's death. My father is enough. Gabriel cups my nape and drags me closer, pressing me hard against his body without moving his aim from Tiny. He kisses my temple with his gaze fixed on the man on the ground and speaks softly against my ear. "Go. Now." In Gabriel's world, there's vengeance and violence. Violence can be dissuaded, but never vengeance. I know how it works. If he doesn't shoot Tiny, Tiny will have to kill him or look over his shoulder forever. I don't want this for Gabriel. I don't want him to carry another life on his conscience, especially not because of me. "Gabriel." Quincy comes running down the alley. He breaks in his tracks when he takes in the scene. Roughly, Gabriel shoves me towards Quincy. "Take her to the car." Quincy doesn't hesitate. He drags me kicking and screaming down the alley, all the way to the car where Rhett waits. He bundles me into the back and wipes a hand over his face. Rhett gives me a grim look in the rear-view mirror. I huddle in the corner, unable to control my shaking. I wait for a shot to go off, but hear nothing. Gabriel would use a silencer. A few seconds later, he exits the alley, adjusting his cuffs and walking with brisk strides to the car, my purse in his hands. Once he's in, Rhett pulls off. No one says a word on the way home. Gabriel puts his arm around me, holding me tight, and I close my eyes and cry quietly for the terrible act he committed for me.
At that hour, everyone at home is asleep. We park at the back so I can carry Valentina to her room without having to traverse the whole house. She objects when I lift her into my arms, but I don't heed her. Rhett and Quincy will go back to deal with the body. They know the drill. Since that scumbag fucker son of a bitch Tiny wasn't connected to any gang, there are no logistics or payoff to iron out. My priority is Valentina. Oscar jumps from the tumble dryer and runs ahead of me into Valentina's room to keep guard on the windowsill. I lay her down on the bed and remove her trainers before stripping the dress. It's going to the trash can. I don't want anything that filthy Zambian touched on her skin. Anyway, the dress is threadbare. Going through the shelves of her closet, I find one t-shirt, a tank top, a pair of jeans that have seen better days, and a pair of shorts. These are all the clothes she owns. I'll make a mental note to go through her belongings later and grab the t-shirt. Helping her to sit up, I dress her. After what happened, I don't want her to feel vulnerable, and nakedness will do that. "What time is it?" she asks. "Almost 6. "I need to get ready for work." She tries to get up, but I push her down. "Stay." "I'm fine." She looks up at me through her wet lashes, her lips quivering. Yeah, she looks anything but fine, but she's obstinate and worried that she'll fail in her job and therefore get shot. "Don't move," I say with enough authority to make her obey as I leave the room. In the kitchen, I pour a stiff shot of whiskey and take a mild sedative from the medicine kit. The remedy is natural and won't have adverse effects with the alcohol. Sitting down on the edge of Valentina's bed, I lift her head, slip the pill into her mouth, and hold the glass to her lips. "Drink up." She doesn't argue. Her blind obedience heats my insides. It's a huge step, and I don't think she realizes how much trust she's showing me. Depositing the empty glass on the floor, I take her hand in mine. Her bones are delicate and thin in my palm, breakable. There are scratches on her knuckles, but they're not deep. We can worry about that later. The sight of those marks unleashes the monster in me, though, and it takes some effort to calm myself enough to ask, "Do you want to talk about it?" I do, but I'm not going to push. Not now, at least. She puts a hand on her forehead. I don't feel so good." My body tenses, every muscle going taut. "What's wrong?" "I don't know, I just feel weird." "Tell me what you feel." "Dizzy, the world is turning." The effect of the alcohol is kicking in, but instead of relaxing her, it's making her drunk. "When was the last time you ate?" I ask with caution. She lifts her eyes to the ceiling while she thinks. "Lunch." I try to keep my voice normal. "Yesterday?" She clutches my hand like a riptide is about to pull us apart. "Gabriel?" "It's just the whiskey I gave you to relax. You need food. I'll get you something to eat." "You don't have to. I can." There's a slight thickness to her speech. "I know you can, beautiful." I pry her fingers open gently and go back to the kitchen to rummage through the fridge. Going for as much carbs, fat, and protein as I can find, I pile a plate high with leftover bacon carbonara and add lots of cheese. While the food is heating in the microwave, I grab a fork and paper napkin. Back in her room, I prop her back up against the pillows and twist the pasta around the fork. When I bring it to her mouth, she utters a weak protest. "Open," I say. Again, she obeys. I feed her until the plate is empty before I pull her into my lap. "You should sleep now." She shakes her head, brushing her cheek over my chest. "Can't. I have work to do." "It's an order, not a request." Her eyelids are already heavy. "Thank you for saving me." "You're welcome." "Why were you there?" I run my gaze over her face, drinking in her pretty features as the truth registers in her expression. "You followed me?" she asks with disbelief, a tinge of hurt thrown into the mix. "Your phone," I replied flatly. "I planted a tracker in it before I gave it back to you." "Why? Don't you trust me? Do you think I'll run?" "If she knows the intensity of my obsession, it'll expose the one weakness I can't afford. I'll lose my power over her, and that's not something I'm willing to let go, ever. So I give her a warped version. You're worth a lot of money to me, Valentina. I'm protecting my interests." Hurt shimmers in her eyes and creeps into the tremulous smile she gives me. "Of course, how could I forget? 400,000 rand. I let a note of warning infuse my tone. "You chose. I never forced you." "You're right." A single tear slips free and runs over her cheek. "I'm sorry." Her apology catches me off guard. "About what?" "That this morning happened." I catch the drop on my thumb and stick it in my mouth, tasting her sorrow. "It wasn't your fault." I hesitate, choosing my words carefully. I don't want to contradict what I just said by making her feel responsible for what happened. What were you doing back at your flat?
Trying to sell it.
There can only be one reason she would risk it out there to make a sale. The state of her almost bare closet gives me a hint. You need the money that bad? She looks away.
It doesn't make sense hanging on to the place if neither me nor Charlie is going to live there.
That's not the point. The point is that no one is going to buy a bachelor flat in Berea. Homeless people and thugs may move in, but they're not going to pay a cent. I get it, though. She's proud. She doesn't want to tell me why she wants the measly money that shithole is worth. I give her more than enough money to feed and clothe her, with plenty left to take care of her brother. It's not that she owes anyone. I've checked with the money lords. There's something else. How much are you hoping to get? I ask.
10, 20,000 maybe?
If this is part of a scheme to pay me back quicker, I'll play along for now. In time, she'll understand I'm not letting her go. Anyway, she won't get a lousy buck for the place. If she wants 20 grand, I'll give it to her. I'll handle the sale for you. She doesn't have to know I'll be the one to buy it. You're never going back to that area. Do you understand?
Oh, no.
Her eyes grow large.
I'm not making my problem yours. I can do it.
I know you can do it, but I said I'll deal with the agent. End of discussion. There are too many others like Tiny out there. She goes quiet at the mention of the fucker's name. Way to go, Louw. Why didn't you rub her face in it?
You shot him, didn't you?
She asks in a small voice. I hug her tighter. He'll never bother you again. I'm afraid to ask, but I need to know if I should call out a doctor. Did he hurt you?
Some.
I go cold, the fury from earlier reviving in my veins. How?
When he slapped me, my hands.
That explains the bruises on her knuckles. Anything else?
Not like that.
Relief has me close my eyes briefly. It wasn't the first time he bothered you. I of all people know when a man is proprietorial, and Tiny acted like she was territory.
He collected levies from our building. It doesn't matter now.
It does. I can only imagine how he made her pay. The thought has a nerve twitch in the back of my eye, making my eyeball jump in the socket. What did he do to you?
Nothing.
It didn't look like nothing.
It wasn't always like this. Today was different.
The light bulb goes on in my head. He made you give him head, I state matter-of-factly, keeping the agonizing rage from my voice because I need to know.
I gave nothing, she bits out. He used my mouth, but I didn't give him a single damn thing.
That low-life fucking son of a bitch. I wish I had more control back in that alley, enough to hold back from shooting him straight away. I should have tortured him to death. Started by cutting off his dick. The irony of the situation isn't lost on me. I'm condemning an already dead man to a slow, painful death for something I'm guilty of myself. I took her and decided to keep her. I eat her pussy every night and get off on her climaxes. I stuck my dick in her mouth and shot my load down her throat. Yes, I'm no goddamn better than the man I killed for her today, but she's mine. Tiny had no right to lay his hands on her. Turning my scars towards the shadows, I bring my head down and brush our lips together. I want to wipe the imprint of every other man's dick on her lips away. I press my lips on the mouth that cocksucker Tiny abused God knows how many times. There. Despite my dark mood, I try to keep things light. All kissed better. A smile curves her lips. She looks so damn innocent looking at me like this. After what happened to her, the enormity of the oral sex weighs heavy on my shoulders. She's mine, like no other person has been, not even my ex-wife. When I took possession of her body, I also committed myself to take care of her feelings. I'm training her body to want me, because God knows I'm too ugly to inspire spontaneous desire in a woman, let alone love, but she needs to understand sucking my cock isn't mandatory. I smooth my hand over her hair. You never have to do that again, not for anyone, not even me. She lifts her head to look at me, her brown eyes soft and wide.
It wasn't the same. With you, I wanted to.
The alcohol loosens her tongue, but it also makes her speak the truth. A foreign feeling crushes my chest. Gratitude. It's the first time in my life I feel gratitude towards anyone. Not knowing what to do with the emotion, I rock her in my arms until she drifts off. For a long time I hold her, until Marie is about to arrive. Easing her limp body down on the mattress, I cover her with the duvet and put Oscar on the bed to keep her company. I go straight to my study to call my PI. I prefer to conduct sensitive calls in a room swept for bugs every day. Anton answers on the first ring. Gabriel! he says jovially. What can I do for you? I need a detailed report on the financial activity of Valentina Haynes and anything you can get on her history. Marvin Haynes' daughter? The one and only. I'm on it. By when do you need it? Yesterday. I don't know why I still ask. I'm about to head for a shower when Rhett returns. The flat was broken into, he says. I spoke to the agent Valentina met there. Apparently the place was turned upside down. Why the fuck would someone burgle her place when it's under our protection? It's a stupid act only an idiot on a suicide mission would risk. Any leads? I ask tightly. No. Must be a random break-in. Maybe a thief who's new to the neighborhood and doesn't know shit about the hierarchy. True. There are thousands of murderers and thieves out there. Not everyone is familiar with the families or how we operate. Still, I smell a rat, and I don't like it. I give him a pat on the shoulder. Get some rest. He's been up with me all night. If the business meeting on Saturday hadn't run overtime, I would have been home before Valentina left for the weekend. I was irritated for not being able to see her before she was off for 2 nights and a day. I tracked her via her phone to Orange Grove, and when she went back to Berea, we spent the night outside her flat, parked in a nearby street. I was lucky I checked the tracker when I did, or I wouldn't have noticed she was on the move, being attacked in a dirty alley by that filthy Zambian. I didn't expect her to leave that early. My bodyguards must think I'm crazy, but they're wiser than to comment. I could have broken down her new door again and dragged her home to safety, but I want Valentina to have an illusion of freedom. Magda wants her to have hope, but I want her to be happy. Suddenly and inexplicably, it's important to me.
It's afternoon when I wake with a start. Ice fills my veins when the memory of this morning floods my mind. Gabriel shot a man because of me. I know it's not the first man he's killed, and it won't be the last, but I don't want to be responsible. If I'm to function today, I can't think about it. Pushing the dark memory from my mind, I pull on a uniform and braid my hair. Marie looks up when I enter the kitchen. Her face is pulled into a scowl. Mr. Lowe said you're sick. Apparently, so is Carly. Must be a bug going through the house. I made the beds, but you better see to the laundry. I grab the washing basket and brush past her to fetch the dirty clothes from the bedrooms. Before I reach Carly's room, heated voices coming through the open door stop me in my tracks. Dad, come on. I'm old enough to go on a date. Not with a boy I don't know from Adam. You want to know every boy who asks me out on a date? Jesus, Dad. They're too scared of you to come to our house. I may as well become a nun now and get it over with. Watch your tongue, young lady. All the girls in my class are going with dates. It's only a movie. I said no. I'll look like an idiot if I go alone. Everyone will think I couldn't get a date. If that's your only motivation for wanting to go with him, you're not doing it for the right reason. Dad! If it's really such a big deal, I'll get the Hills boy to go with you. You're mean and cruel. I don't like Anthony Hill. I like Sebastian. I don't give a damn. I don't trust a man I don't know, and I don't know Sebastian. You're ruining my life. Carly storms from the room, her eyes brimming with tears. I hate you. She runs down the stairs, her sobs audible until the front door slams behind her. When I look around the door, Gabriel stands in the middle of the room, his eyes closed and his head turned up to the ceiling. What are you doing? Magda says behind me, making me jump. Eavesdropping? Laundry. I lift the basket. Get on with it, then. I get out of her way and load the washing machine, but I can't stop thinking about Carly. In some regards, she's a brat, but I feel for her. I remember what it was like when my father told me who I'd marry and that I'd never be allowed to go out with other boys. At the time, it felt like my world had come to an end. Later, when I washed the windows, I see Carly sitting outside by the pool, her cheeks streaked with tears. I pour a glass of lemonade and carry it outside. Leaving it on the table next to her, I say, I'm sorry you're upset. She crosses her arms. I'm sure you are. He's just being protective. He's a pain in the ass. My mum always paved the way for me with my dad. Why don't you ask your mum to speak to him? She snorts. Like that will help. She's 10 times worse. When is this big night? Friday? Maybe he'll come around. If that's what you think, you don't know my father. I stare down into her unhappy face, seeing myself at a younger age when I already knew I'd never have love, not the kind people marry for anyway. Maybe it's the futility of my life, of my own unhappy existence that makes me blurt out, "Do you want me to speak to him?" She jerks her head up, her lips parted. "Will you?" I can't guarantee he'll listen, but I can try. She turns her face towards the pool, staring at the blue water with empty eyes. "I guess you're my only shot. No one else will try." "All right, now cheer up. Sulking gives you wrinkles." A smile almost curves her lips.
I'm poring over the information Anton sent about Valentina, the general stuff that's easy to come by, when the object of my research walks into my study.
"Excuse me, do you have a minute?"
Lowering the report, I scrutinize her. She looks pale. Feeling better?
"Yes."
She fixes her gaze on the carpet and shuffles her feet.
"Thank you."
She's nervous. What is it, Valentina?
"Early on, back there."
She throws a thumb in a general direction.
"I couldn't help but overhear the argument."
I lean back in my chair and narrow my gaze. With Carly?
"It's none of my business, but—"
Damn right it's not. Carly is my daughter, and whatever issues I have as a father are private. At my tone, her eyes grow large. I can practically see the fear bleeding into them. Making a conscious effort to soften my tone, I say, "Whatever you want to say, I'm sure you mean well, but your opinion is unwanted." I turn my face to the computer screen, not dismissing her, but showing her she no longer has my undivided attention. For a moment, she says nothing. I believe she's going to bolt, but then she lifts her chin and looks down at me from her meager height.
"Gabriel."
All I want is to throw her over the desk and fuck her, but in this, I have to show her her place. It's sir when I'm not going down on you. Her cheeks turn pink, but she stands her ground, her gorgeous courage making me hot around my collar and hard in my pants.
"Sir, I promised Carly I'd speak to you. You can do to me whatever you want, listen or not listen, but I won't break my promise."
The chair scrapes over the floor as I push it back and get to my feet. "I won't tell you again. Keep your nose out of my business." The hem of her dress trembles. Her knees must be shaking, but she doesn't back down.
"You're making a mistake."
I round the desk and stop in front of her. Am I now?
"You should let Carly decide who she wants to go out with."
You would know.
"Yes."
You're not a parent. Until you are, keep your opinions to yourself. She cranes her neck to look me in the eyes.
"No, I'm not a parent, but I've been there. I know what it feels like."
The angry part of me stills as I picture her as a young woman asking her father's permission to go out on a date. From the report I just read, I know she was only 13 when he died, way too young to date, but I'm curious.
"My father already decided who I was going to marry when I turned 10. It didn't matter what I wanted or how I felt. My mother was already gathering a trousseau for the day I turned 18. My father passed away early, saving me from that fate. But if he'd still been alive, I would have been far, far away from here."
There's nowhere far enough she could have run. Marvin would have found her. He was a small fish in a big pond, but he was part of the mob. Every single man in the business would have been looking for her. My curiosity piqued further, I ask, who were you supposed to marry?
"Lambert Roos."
It makes sense. It would have strengthened Marvin's connections, but hearing her say it doesn't sit right with me. Lambert's an old fart. I feel like killing him now, just because he once upon a time considered marrying her. Which raises the questions I've been mulling over for the last hour. Why didn't anyone in the family take the Haynes orphans in? Now I want to know, why didn't the Roos family take Valentina and Charles when their mother died? Lambert's family should have claimed them and raised Valentina until she turned a marriageable age. Too many things about Valentina don't add up. She watches me with her big eyes.
"Don't push her away. Give her reason to confide in you, not to do things behind your back. Carly is her own person. She deserves to make her own choices, even if they're mistakes."
Everything she says is true, but the protective side of me is too fierce.
"It's just a date," she continues. "You can't lock her in a glass cage forever. She has to find her way in life."
I'm not sure I can.
"Of course you can. At least meet the kid before you cast judgment. Invite him over. That way, you can decide if she's safe with him."
I consider her words. I'm not the world's greatest father, but I want what's best for Carly.
"You can always kill him if he misbehaves,"
she says with a hint of a smile. It's her way of telling me she accepted what happened this morning, not that I need her acceptance. I'm not worried about her ratting on me either, because I know how desperately she wants to keep her brother alive. Anyway, it won't do her any good. Magda practically owns the police force. I sigh and wipe a hand over my face. I have to discuss it with her mother. Hope lights up the somber depths of her eyes. Can I tell her you'll think about it? Fine. I shove my hands into my pockets. I'll think about it, and I'll tell her myself. Thank you, she says, as if I just granted her freedom to date, which brings another nagging issue to my mind, Valentina's virginity. I won't be able to hold off much longer. At some point, my control is going to snap. It tears me apart to even think about it, but soon I'll have to face the decision I've been putting off for far too long. When Valentina is cleaning upstairs, I send Marie out on a shopping errand with Quincy and go through Valentina's room. Except for a few pieces of clothing, a pair of flip-flops, and a change of plain white underwear, there are raspberry-scented shampoo, body lotion, deodorant, and tampons in her closet. There are no cosmetics, jewelry, or shoes, not even a hair clip. On the bottom shelf, I find a stack of text and notebooks. From the titles, I deduce they're on veterinary science. Could it be that Valentina is a university student? It should have occurred to me earlier. She's clever, driven, and ambitious. It makes sense that she'd want to further her education. As I'm staring down at her neat handwriting, I'm struck by another foreign emotion. Pride. The pride I feel for Carly is her birthright. But this is something different. This pride is earned. A piece of the ever-present coldness in me makes way for a pleasant rush of heat. Valentina wants to be a vet. She'll make a brilliant, gorgeous animal doctor. This is why she needs the money. I finished an MBA after high school, and I know how much hard work it is. She won't keep up this job and her studies, not for long. The part of me that wants her to be happy wants her to have this, but I'll have to find a way around Magda. I'm enjoying the sensation of warmth in my chest too much to let it go, but when my gaze sweeps over her belongings, a new feeling dampens my pride. It takes me a while to place it. Fuck me, I feel compassion. Big, empathic compassion. I always knew Valentina was going to play havoc with my body, but what the hell is she doing to my heart?
Which one? Carly holds up a pink strapless dress and a blue one with a tight-fitting bodice. I stop ironing to consider the options. The pink one. Gabriel will definitely object if she shows off too much of her figure. She puts the pink one on the ironing pile and lifts her hair on top of her head. Up or down? You have a pretty neck. I'd say up. She all but skips from the scullery, leaving me with a smile. I'm glad Gabriel finally agreed to let her go out after meeting Sebastian and his parents. It didn't take a brain surgeon to see Carly was smitten with the boy. He has all the qualities to make a schoolgirl's knees weak, including playing for the school rugby team. I finish pressing the tablecloth, hiding a yawn behind my hand. I'm exhausted. It's a battle to keep my eyes open past 11. Every night, Gabriel comes to me. My body has learned not only to respond to him, but also to need the pleasure he gives me like I need food and water. When my body hits the mattress, it starts craving him. I'm wet and aching before he even walks through the door. By the time he fondles and kisses me, I'm begging for release. Sometimes he lets me return the favor. It's always the same routine. When it's me making him come, he leaves everything up to me. I find comfort and power in this, and I also find I need more. I'm ashamed to admit I want more from Gabriel than oral sex. I'm fantasizing about having him inside my body, feeling him rock a rhythm into me with his cock. I shouldn't want this, not from him of all people. I crave what he does to my body, but I hate him for having this effect on me. I never wanted a man before or had erotic dreams. But now I wake up soaked and needy every morning, my senses super aware of him as he moves around the house. Last night I was on the verge of asking him to fuck me, but my pride won't let me. Maybe controlling me with powerful orgasms is enough for him, but it's not enough for me. Not only did he make me a whore, he made me a greedy one. Meeting in the kitchen, Marie says, breaking my train of thought. I let my hair fall around my face to hide my flustered cheeks. Coming. Magda is waiting for us with a clipboard in her hand. As usual, she jumps straight into business. It's my son's birthday in 4 months, and we're hosting a party at the house. I'm hiring caterers and servers, but everyone's help is needed. Make sure you're available on Saturday and Sunday, the 10th and 11th of March. It'll finish late, so Marie, you'll have to sleep over. You can share Valentina's room. Any questions? Both Marie and I shake our heads. Good. I'll give you more details closer to the time. When she's gone, trying to sound casual, I ask, how old is he? 36? He had Carly young. He married Mrs. Louw when they were both only 19. They had Carly the following year. Was it an arranged marriage? Marie pulls her back straight. You shouldn't ask questions about affairs that don't concern you. She's right, but I have an insatiable curiosity about my keeper. I'm devastated to admit I want to know everything there is to know about him. The table needs to be cleared, she says harshly. I tidy the dining room and smuggle the untouched food to my room. On my break, I carry the shepherd's pie outside and make myself comfortable on the low wall, separating the garden from the pool.
Before Valentina's arrival, I never spent time in the kitchen. I never had reason to. Now, I gravitate to that part of the house with increasing frequency. An urge to see Valentina drives me there, but she's nowhere to be seen. Marie can't hide her shock at my presence. More so when I switch on the kettle and take a mug from the cupboard.
Anything I can do, Mr. Louw?
I've got this. She eyes me warily as I drop a tea bag into the mug.
I can prepare you a tray, she says. Or get Valentina to bring it to your study.
Where is Valentina?
Lunch break.
The way she wrinkles her nose tells me our maid isn't one of her favorites. Any resentment she has should be directed at me. The little maid came voluntarily, but only because I made sure there was no other choice.
Shall I call her?
Marie asks, watching me with hawk eyes. No. Valentina needs a rest. Her back is breaking under the burdens Magda piles on her.
As you wish.
Her dismay is laughable. If she weren't a loyal employee, I would have kicked her ass out on the spot. As if sensing my discord, she moves away quickly, busying herself with chopping vegetables. I don't really want the damn tea. But if I abandon the task, Marie will know my ulterior motive for gate-crashing in the kitchen. I walk to the window while I wait for the water to boil and jolt to a standstill. Valentina sits on the wall with a plate in her hands. I go colder than the morgue. Bruno is out. Quincy told me 10 minutes earlier he's letting him run free for exercise. Valentina! My voice carries through the window because she lifts her head with a frown. Jumping to action, I sprint as fast as my limp allows to the back door, my body in fight mode. I clear the house in record speed, but my voice didn't only attract Valentina's attention. The Bourbal rounds the corner, his ears drawn back in alert. My heart stops. My lungs collapse, making it impossible to draw in a breath. Quincy! Where the fuck is he? Valentina! I don't have time to elaborate on my warning. The dog spots her and charges. Chapter 8. The chances are in Bruno's favor of making it to Valentina before I do, and I don't have my gun on me. I throw my weight behind my effort, but my disability makes me too slow. One more second and Bruno is next to the wall. Horrible visions play off in my mind. I reach for Valentina with an outstretched arm, trying to throw myself between her and the dog. But Bruno is at her feet, his enormous jaws going straight for her delicate ankle. I'm about to tackle and strangle the animal when the fact that he's licking her leg instead of tearing her apart registers in my frantic mind. I barely stop myself from crashing head-on into both of them. My hands are shaking, and my skin is clammy. The powerful rush of adrenaline drops as quickly as it has flared, making me feel physically ill. I swallow several times to suppress the urge to puke. While I'm battling to settle my guts, Bruno slobbers all over her. Valentina gives me a confused look, uncertainty creeping into her eyes. She puts a plate with a half-eaten serving of shepherd's pie on the wall and pushes it away from her, as if the food is the cause of my reaction. Bruno puts his forepaws on the wall and stretches. When she scratches behind his ear, he closes his eyes and tilts his head towards her touch.
Is everything all right?
She asks in a small voice. I must look like I feel. A fucking madman. Quincy comes running from the back, jogging up when he spots me. He stops with his hands on his hips, looking between Valentina and me. What's going on? I can't look at him right now. The chances are too big that I'll rip his head from his body. Instead, I lock gazes with Valentina. What the fuck are you doing outside when the dog is loose? She stops, petting Bruno and drops her hand.
He doesn't mind me.
He's a guard dog, not a lap dog. The vixen dares to challenge me.
He seems friendly enough to me.
She's right, Quincy adds quickly. Bruno likes her. He won't attack. You, I turn to him with ice in my tone, are supposed to check that nobody is out before you let him loose.
It's not Quincy's fault, she says. I didn't tell him I was coming outside.
She's covering for Quincy? With the aftermath of the adrenaline still burning in my veins and my leg aching like a bitch from the overexertion, this is as much as I can take. I grab her arm and pull her from the wall, catching her around the waist before she falls. Inside! Her face pales at my tone, even if the command was no louder than a whisper. Quincy lifts his palms. Gabriel, take it easy. Are you giving me an order? He backs down. Of course not. Next time, follow instructions, I snarl. I don't care that Marie stops to look at us as I drag Valentina behind me through the kitchen. I don't stop until I get to the gym. Shoving her inside, I lock the door and turn to face her. She wraps her arms around herself, regarding me calmly, but there's wariness in her eyes. For a moment, I just look at her. The thought of anything happening to her leaves an acidic, bitter, fucking horrible taste in my mouth. The intensity of the notion shocks me to my core. I hate her for it. I hate her for the crippling anguish I suffered on her behalf. It's a goddamn sick feeling, and it's making me fucking weak. I like my sex wild, and I love a woman's tears, which is why I sleep with women who crave my money enough to take what comes with having sex with me. But Valentina, I never wanted to hurt her, up to this moment. When I belted her, it was to prevent Magda from killing her. Yes, it turned me on, but I regretted it. Now, I want to paddle her ass until she screams. I want to punish her for what I feel. I undo the buttons of my shirt cuffs and fold them back twice. Her eyes follow the movement, but she says nothing. It's only when I walk to the weight bench and sit down that she finds her voice. Gabriel, please. Come here. She doesn't move. If I have to come get you, you're going to suffer double as much as what I've got planned for you. Slowly, she moves to me, her eyes flittering between my face and lap. I point at my knees. Bend over. Gabriel. Her lip starts to tremble. You endangered your life, and your life is mine, which means you put my property at risk. Nothing happened. Don't make me tell you again. She shuffles closer until her knees brush my thighs. Bend over my lap and press your palms and feet flat on the floor. Keep your legs spread. She lowers herself across my lap so that her head hangs down one side of my thighs and her legs down the other. The bench is low enough for her hands and feet to touch the ground. I pull her dress up to her waist and move her panties down to her thighs. If you move, your punishment will be tripled. Her smooth, golden ass and plump pink pussy are exposed to me. I take my time to admire her perfect body, her unmarred beauty and unsoiled innocence. My cock stirs and grows impossibly hard. I lift my hand and take aim. Smack! My palm lands on the tight curve of her left ass cheek. She jerks in my lap, driving her belly into my hard cock. Smack! The second marks her other cheek. She sucks in a breath, but she doesn't give in to me. Her silence is her defiance. Not giving her time to draw another breath, I land a succession of firm blows over her ass until I find my rhythm. I keep it light enough not to bruise, but hard enough to turn her skin pink. She squirms and whimpers, but she doesn't break her stance. Her ass clenches with each slap. I keep going until not a patch of her skin is left unmarked. When I start to repeat the pattern on her inflamed skin, she finally breaks. A loud cry escapes her throat. I keep at it mercilessly, not giving her reprieve until her body goes slack. As she relaxes under my touch, her cries become different. The whimpers turn to moans. She mumbles my name and grinds her body down on my cock. I reward her by stopping the blows and reaching between her legs to cup her sex. She's soaked. My cock rises against the constraint of my zipper in satisfaction. I didn't plan on taking it here, but I can't help myself. The fight has gone completely out of me. All that's left is the gnawing lust. I pet her folds for a while, reveling in how they swell to my touch before I rub my middle finger in circular movements over her clit. I like the vantage point I have on the view. When I bend my head, her pussy is so close I can smell her arousal. It drives me insane. Her beautiful female parts clench, and her lower body shakes. Her thighs and arms quiver as she screams out her orgasm. I let her have it, and more. I carry on rubbing and pinching her clit until she begs me to stop, but I don't let up until I'm certain she can't take any more. Only then do I adjust her clothes, help her up, and pull her into my arms with her head cradled against my chest. While she's sobbing it out, I caress her cheek, wiping the tears away as they fall. Every molecule in my body is aware of her.
I'm intoxicated with the woman I hold in my arms, the woman I'll eventually have to kill. It's then that I acknowledge the truth. I'm not going to kill her. I was never going to. She's meant to be mine. When she stops crying, I dry her tears with my palms. Don't ever do that to me again. She blinks. She's confused. Hell, so am I. Spanking her makes me hot. Holding her makes me forget why I spanked her in the first place. With her arms wrapped around my neck and her ass cushioning my dick, I can't think straight. All I know is that I can't lose her. From now on, I want Quincy to train you with Bruno. She lifts her head to look at me. You're not allowed outside if he's loose, unless you give me a demonstration that proves you can handle him. He won't attack me. He's bitten a trespasser before. Fuck, Valentina. I drag a hand through my hair. Not even Magda risks it, unless he's closed in the back. Why do you keep a dog if he's so dangerous, even to your own family? Protection. People who want to break in badly enough will eventually find a way. Bad people will also poison a dog. He's trained not to take food from anyone but Quincy. I study her tear-streaked eyes. What did you do to him? How did you get him to heal? I removed a thorn from his paw. That's it? It's not hard at all. You just have to show him who has the authority. You can't be frightened. Animals sense fear. It sounds a lot like me. No surprises there. I'm an animal at best. I brush my lips over her hair, inhaling her sweet raspberry scent. Was my lesson clear enough for you, or will you need a repeat? No, she says quickly. I get it. Do you fear me? Why? Do you sense it? Yes, I say gravely. I do, and I'll encourage it, even if it's only to use her fear like a leash, holding her close to me. I lift her to her feet. I'll tell Quincy to set aside some time later today. She brushes her hair behind her ear. Do you need a moment? She gives a grateful nod. Please. I give her the privacy she needs to gather herself. After arranging for dog training with Quincy, I distract myself by catching up on business, and then I access the financial records Anton emailed me. Valentina earned a salary from Rocky Street Veterinary Clinic. When she said she was an assistant, I assumed it was the secretarial type. That explains the white tunic the first night in Napoli's. Debit orders went off from her account for water and electricity, which she stopped yesterday. Her credit card statements show the usual expenses for food and essentials. Other than that, Valentina isn't a spender. Not that she had the means. There are no luxuries, nothing of the things women like, not even a tube of lipstick. Every month, she withdraws a substantial amount of cash, and it's always the same amount, to the last cent. I call my private banker and arrange for 20 grand to be transferred to her account. Next, I get the agent on the line and offer him a 5 grand commission to transfer the Berea property to my name. He's happy to oblige. Firstly, he knows who I am. Secondly, he knows he'll otherwise not get a cent for the flat. I arrange for the necessary transfer of ownership documents to be delivered. For Valentina's sake, the sale must look authentic. With the finances in place, I call the club manager at Napoli's. I'd like to have a word with Valentina's ex-neighbor about the burglary, and Jerry hasn't been home since we took her and her brother. The manager assures me that Jerry hasn't been back, so I put word out that I'm looking for him. Whoever wrecked Valentina's flat will pay. I leave the most unpleasant task for last, dialing Lambert Russ. The phone rings for a long time without going onto voicemail. Looks like I'll have to pay Lambert a visit. It's only when I grow more settled again and reflect on this afternoon's episode that I recall the lunch Valentina never finished. On strict order from Magda, Marie won't serve food she prepares to the staff. Is Valentina eating our leftovers? God damn, an uncomfortable emotion launches into my heart. The pinch in my chest won't let up. I pull our grocery order records. Valentina is living on Granny Smith apples and cheap Chinese noodles. I feel too many things to distinguish one from the other. There are pity, concern, and anger at myself for not discovering the truth earlier. She's starving right under my nose. This won't do. I need her healthy. I adjust the order and send Marie a note. From now on, Valentina will eat what I decide.
There's a box with my name on it in the kitchen when I come in from washing the patio. That's for you, Marie says, drying her hands on a dishcloth. For me? I lift the flaps to peer inside. There are meat, cheese, eggs, veggies, fruit, bottled water and juice. In a smaller box, I find a variety of delicatessens, including olives, nuts, cold-pressed cooking oil and dark chocolate. There must be a mistake. I didn't order these. It's from Mr. Louw. She scrutinizes me. Whatever you did, it made him very happy. I shouldn't feel guilty, but a flush warms my cheeks. I'm ashamed of my poverty. Always have been. Gabriel's gesture only reminds me of the gap between us. The kindness makes me irrationally sad and inexplicably angry. I'm nobody's charity case. I'll return everything. But for now, I unpack it in the fridge to prevent the expensive food from spoiling. When Gabriel comes to my room, I fight the orgasm he forces on me, doing everything in my power not to come, but it's a losing battle. Eventually, the pleasure takes over. My body gives in and delivers what he wants. His power over the physical part of me is complete. He stripped me of my defenses. I can't allow him to strip me of my pride. Afterward, he pulls me into his arms. His voice is gentle but stern. What's wrong? Nothing. The harder you fight me, the harder I'll push. I lower my eyes. The food. I don't appreciate the gesture. Ah, he says, as if he suddenly understands everything that's going on in my head. Look at me. I oblige grudgingly. What are you to me, Valentina? An investment, I bet out. What do I do with my investments? Take care of them. He brushes a thumb over my cheek. I like to take care of you. Is that so bad? Yes, damn it. I want to be more than someone's investment. You can't force food on me. Yes, I can. You can eat what I tell you or be force-fed. It's your choice. But it'll please me if you accept it without arguing. It shocks me how badly I want to please him. What the hell is wrong with me? Whatever you need, he continues, I want you to tell me. I can only stare at him, not sure what is changing between us, but the balance is shifting. He runs a forefinger over my lips. Is there anything you'd like to tell me now? The air of anticipation that hangs around him makes him seem vulnerable, as if he has more to lose than me in this strange game playing off between us. No, I croak, not sure what he wants from me. As I expected, my answer disappoints him, but he doesn't pursue the matter. He simply kisses me until my desire spikes again, before he gets to his feet and unbuckles his belt.
What did I expect from Valentina? To open up to me? Why is it important to me that she tells me about her studies out of her own free will? I don't have an answer. I only know I want to hear it from her. Until she admits it, I won't tell her I've discovered the truth. Besides keeping an eye on Valentina's eating habits, worry about Carly's date dominates the rest of my week. On Friday night, I have men placed around the movie theater. Discreetly, of course. Still, I don't relax until my daughter is home safe and sound, bubblier than ever. If Sebastian put as much as a finger on her, my men would have acted, and I'm glad it didn't come to that. Carly comes to my study to say goodnight. She surprises me with an uncharacteristic kiss on my cheek and a hug. When the house is quiet, I make my way to Valentina's room. It's a routine I look forward to, a fix to which I'm already addicted. My steps fall unevenly on the kitchen floor. My limp is heavier tonight. There's rain in the air, but the humidity makes my joints ache. My breath catches when I open her door. She's spread out on the bed, naked. Her golden skin is flawless, except for the tiny beauty spot under her left breast. The small mark of imperfection only adds to her allure. In her sleep, she looks more vulnerable and innocent than when she watches me with her big, frightened eyes. Her folds already glisten with the arousal I conditioned her to have. Walking to the bed, I stare down at her. Usually my presence is enough to wake her, but she's been tired lately. Too tired. It doesn't help that I steal an hour of her sleep time, but I have very little control where Valentina is concerned. I take every moment to study her body. I like looking at her when she's sleeping. The voyeuristic act is invasive, but it turns me on and feeds a dark part of me. After a few seconds, she starts to stir. Her eyelids flutter, and her lashes lift. I read her expression as she rises from her sleep. First, there's recognition, and then desire. There's no more fear or resistance. She's ready for the next step. Keeping my clothes on, I stretch out next to her on the bed, lifting myself up on my elbow. Immediately, she spreads her legs. The submissive act makes me dizzy with desire. If I'd remained standing, she would have sat up on her knees for me, legs wide, just like I told her. I reward her with a soft kiss, my tongue spearing through her lips and stroking hers while I'm playing with her breasts. I can get drunk on her moans. I want to drown in her arousal, but I have other plans for her pussy tonight. I run my hand on her stomach to her sex. I stroke the pad of my middle finger up and down her slit, working moisture to her clit. When she's drenched in her own wetness, I clamp my mouth over hers and drive the first digit of my finger into her soaked channel. She's soft like velvet and so fucking wet. So hot. Her eyes fly open and she gasps into my mouth. I eat the sound like an addict, greedily swallowing the whimpers that follow when I twist my finger a few times. When Engelbrecht examined her, he told me there's no membrane, not an uncommon occurrence with virgins, so there shouldn't be any bleeding, but god damn it, she's tight. Sucking her lips into my mouth, I drive home, burying my finger all the way inside, and then hold still while I stretch her. This time, she moans loudly into my mouth. I don't mind if she screams. Her room is too far for anyone in the house to hear, but I want to eat her sounds of pleasure like I eat her orgasms. I want to swallow her essence in every sensory way possible to carry it inside of me. I want it to be a part of me in the most literal sense. She's panting in my mouth, sucking the oxygen from my lungs and fueling me with rapid breaths of ecstasy. I take as much as I give, drinking her air like a vampire. It becomes a battle of breaths, a sucking and exhaling, a give and take. Putting my free hand on her forehead, I smooth back her hair in a soothing caress, preparing her for what's to come. As she starts breathing more easily from my mouth, accepting only the air I choose to give her, I pull out my finger and push back in. Her internal walls quiver around me. I drive in and out, finding a rhythm that matches the rise and fall of her chest. My thumb finds her clit, pressing down while I curl the finger inside to caress the soft spot under her pubic bone. Her hips lift toward me, chasing my touch, so I give her more, a bit harder, a bit faster. Her lower body trembles. I want to make her fly so fucking high. The thought as my balls climb up into my body. When the first flutter of the spasm strokes my finger, I glide my palm from her forehead over her eyes to pinch her nose shut with my thumb and forefinger. Before she has time to register my intention, I start fucking her with my finger in all earnest, slapping her pussy hard enough with the heel of my palm to turn her clit pink. I suck the life from her body with my mouth, while I give back with my hand. Her legs scissor, her ass lifts off the bed, and her toes curl inward. Then she begins to fight. She tries to twist her head in my hold while shoving at my shoulders. Realizing she's no match for my strength, she scratches. My skin burns deliciously hot where her nails leave long gashes in my neck. She bites my tongue. The metallic taste of blood coats my lips and drives me wild. One more second, and her body jerks as if she's taken 1,000 volts. I can own her life for several more seconds before she'll pass out. But I don't want it to go that far. I only want her to have the pleasure. 2 more seconds and she falls limp, taking the relentless fucking of my finger in and on her pussy without fighting it any longer. She does nothing but ride the pleasure I force out of her, allowing me to control her breathing. Total surrender. I ease my hold in her nose and mouth, keeping our lips a hairbreadth apart. She sucks in the cool night air with a hoarse gasp, her neck arching from the intensity of the action. Shockwaves ripple through her abdomen, dissipating in her pussy. I keep her pussy in the vice of my middle finger, which is still inside her, and my thumb, which is pressing on her clit, until the tremors pass. Her vagina feels plump and ripe from my workout. I kiss her lips one last time, tracing my tongue over a spot where she bit herself during the struggling, and move down her body until my tongue finds her folds. She shivers when I push inside to taste her climax. It's uniquely Valentina. She tastes raw and well-loved, and I have a shocking desire to taste her with my cum in her body. I'm beyond myself with need. She protests with a meek whimper when I shove her thighs wide and push my hands under her ass, digging my fingers into the fleshy globes to pull her open. I stare at her cunt. She's more than a treat. She's the food I need to survive. I bury my head between her legs and devour her flesh. I eat her like I need her, with no excuses and no mercy.
Gabriel, no more, please.
I ignore her begging. The business about finding her a man, a pretty man, to take her virginity has me on edge. I'll give her a handsome man only this once, even if it feels like carving my heart out with a blunt knife, but fuck it, I own her. I need to show us both after all that will happen, she'll still be mine. Her pleasure is mine. Getting her off is my addiction. I make her come once more with my mouth and twice with my hand. When I'm done, she's boneless. I'm not even sure she's conscious. I settle down beside her and drag her against my body. Folding my arms around her,
I hold her until I drift into a haunted sleep.
I wake up with a weight on my stomach and chest. Gabriel is draped around me, fully dressed, except for his shoes. It's the first time he's stayed with me after making me come. A full body flush heats my skin when I remember what he did last night. My breasts grow heavy and my clit starts to throb. It was carnal, deadly. Somewhere between the last orgasm and Gabriel petting me, I passed out, too tired to lift an eye. Careful not to move, I revel in the comfort of being in his warm arms. The sun is barely up, tainting the curtains with a golden glow. I don't have to face the reality yet, that he's the man who holds the power over my life, Charlie's life. I bite my lip as I acknowledge the painful truth. I liked what he did, very much. Once I got over my initial panic, I gave over to him, trusting him to keep me safe, and he did. Gabriel moves, his hold on me tightening. His breathing doesn't change, but he drags his chin over my jaw and kisses my ear. His beard grates my skin, making me aware of his masculinity in a rough, pleasant way. "Morning, beautiful." He nibbles on my earlobe and sweeps his palm over the goosebumps that break out on my skin. "Coffee?" Gabriel is offering me coffee? I turn to face him, trying to read his expression, but his face is blank. Without waiting for a reply, he swings his legs off the bed and gets to his feet. I don't miss the flinch he tries to hide as he puts his weight on his damaged leg. His white shirt is crumpled and his black hair sleep messy. He looks gorgeous. I want to tell him how grateful I am that he didn't leave me last night, how much I needed his arms around me after the intense way he treated my body, but he limps to the door and disappears before I can formulate the words. I have another 10 minutes before my alarm goes. Cuddling under the covers, I feel replete and strangely happy. A short while later, Gabriel returns with a cup of steaming coffee, the welcome aroma filling my room. I prop myself up on the pillows to take it from him. "Thank you." I'm not sure what else to say. It's such an unexpected act. "Milk, 2 sugars, he says. He knows how I drink my coffee? I blink at him, not sure if I should ask, but he doesn't give me a chance. He wipes a thumb over my bottom lip, over the mark where I bit myself, and drags his heated eyes up to mine. From the way his cock hardens, he's thinking about last night. He checks his watch and angles his head away from me. "I'll be out tonight. Don't leave tomorrow without saying goodbye." The minute he walks out of my room, the air changes. A cold emptiness expands in my chest. Needing some warmth, I cradle the cup between my hands. I allow his act of kindness to warm my heart and fill my empty spaces. He's a contradiction of sensations. A very bad kind of good.
When I walk into my study after lunch, Helga sits in my chair. How the hell did she get past security? I click the door shut. "How did you get in?" "Hi to you too." She leans back in my chair and crosses her ankles on my desk. Her dress rides up to her thighs, exposing black garter stockings. "Chill. Your mother let me in." I'll have to have a word with Magda. For Carly's sake, I don't invite my bed partners home. Seeing her reminds me that I haven't fucked a woman in a very long time, not since I took Valentina. "Why did you come?" I approach the desk, irritated with her presence. "You know the rules." She pouts. "I miss you." "Carly's home, for fuck's sake." "You haven't called. It's not like you." I cross my arms and stare at her. I don't know her explanations. We fuck when we're both in the mood, and that's that. "I need you, lover boy." "I've told you before, don't call me that." She uncrosses her legs and plants a heel on each side of my desk. No panties. Her fanny is bare, shaved, like I prefer. The wide posture gives me a prime view of the goods on offer. "Tell me what to call you, ugly boy." Normally, Helga would have my balls in a knot with the act. By now, I would have bent her over my desk. I would have spanked her pink before fucking her smart mouth, but not today. My cock doesn't stir, not even a twitch. "I'm busy." "It'll only take 5 minutes." I smirk. You know me better than that. "Okay." She gives a sly grin. 30 if you make it a quickie." "You have to leave."
Throwing me out?
Don't make me. It won't be pleasant for either of us. She narrows her eyes.
Who are you fucking?
No one.
Come on, I know you. You can't go a day without sex, let alone weeks.
I don't have time for this shit. I round the desk and stop next to the chair, intimidating her with my size and height. I'll ask you nicely one last time. She grabs my tie and pulls me down to her level.
You don't scare me. Whatever you want to give, I can take it.
A knock on the door interrupts us, but she doesn't let go or break the stare. I'm going to be a first-class jerk. I give her a calculated smile.
You won't.
Watch me, I whisper.
It can be your daughter.
Carly never knocks. It's probably Quincy or Rhett. Come in, I call in a loud voice. Helga's eyes grow large. By now, she knows I never bluff. She brings her knees together and pulls down her dress, but not before the visitor who opens the door gets a full glimpse of her pussy. Triumphantly, I turn my head to see who the lucky spectator is and freeze. Valentina stands in the doorframe, a stack of white envelopes in her hand and shock in her eyes. Chapter 9.
I'm sorry,
Valentina says.
I didn't know you were busy.
I free my tie from Helga's grip and straighten, not missing Helga's curious expression. I have to be careful. Helga is perceptive. Raising a brow at Valentina, I encourage her to continue. She swallows and holds up the envelopes.
Your mother sent me to bring you these.
Leave it on my desk. She approaches with averted eyes and puts the stack on the corner. With a small nod, she hurries out the room.
New staff?
Helga asks.
You never told me you have a maid. I thought you used a cleaning service.
I grip her arm and drag her to her feet.
What are you doing?
Tell me why you're really here. She licks her lips. The facade finally drops.
I need money.
I always leave money after fucking Helga, and she'd feel 2 weeks without a bonus. Letting go of her arm, I take out my wallet and press a couple of thousand in her hand. She bats her eyelashes when I take her wrist and pull her around the desk.
Does this mean we're fucking?
It means I'm walking you out. I all but drag her to the front door where Rhett stands guard. See to it that she leaves the grounds.
Gabriel!
The last thing I see before shutting the door in her face is her disgruntled expression. It's over. I never want to see her again.
Gabriel Louw has a reputation. He's dangerous, and the women who have first-hand experience say he fucks like a horse. Why seeing it with my own eyes hurts so much I can't fathom. It's not like I found out today. What did I expect? Exclusivity? Last night was sweet. The dull ache between my legs remind me of how Gabriel fucked me with his finger. It's the kind of hurt that feels good, until a few moments ago, before I walked in on a pretty blonde with her naked parts splayed on his desk. It's a game to him. I'm his toy. When he tires of me, he'll cast me aside. The only thing he values is the debt I owe. When I walk free, I don't want to leave a piece of my heart here. That would be too ironic. It's a good thing I walked in on them. No, it's a good thing he allowed me to walk in on them. I guess he wanted me to see that, to remind me I'm not special. I'm one of many, and for the moment, I'm convenient. I get through the day by working myself to a standstill. Even my brain is too tired to think. That night, for the first time, he doesn't come to me. I'm a heap of shivering and aching need when morning comes, cursing him and my body. Visions of him in the blonde woman's bed drive me to maddened tears. He's ruined me for other men. He's ruined me even for myself. I'm busy with the vacuuming the following morning when he stumbles through the door, Rhett and Quincy in tow. His hair is disheveled and there's blood on his shirt. His knuckles are bleeding. My heart squeezes and my pulse quickens. He glances at me, but limps down the hallway without a greeting. I contemplate the reason for his state the whole day, refusing to acknowledge the worry that gnaws at my gut. Worrying means caring, and I don't care. At 5, I have a shower and change into my shorts and t-shirt. I throw my tank top into my bag, together with the food for the homeless dogs. I'm not in the mood to face Gabriel, but I'm not so stupid as to ignore his order to say goodbye before I leave. Like yesterday, he calls me in when I knock on his study door. I don't enter, but only pop my head around the frame. Have a good weekend. I'm off. I retract my head, hoping to get away with a quick greeting, but I'm not that lucky. Valentina. I close my eyes and take a deep breath before facing him again. He gets up from behind his desk. He's wearing a blue shirt with navy pants and a striped tie, looking as hot as ever. I'll take you. All I can do is stare at him in confusion. What? I'll drop you off. Gabriel is offering me a lift? I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't want him to be kind to me. That's not necessary. I can find my own way. Like you did last week? Yes. In a minivan? Yes. He crosses the floor with menacing steps. If you ever get into a minivan again, I'll tan your ass so hard you won't sit for a week. I blink up at him. Do you have any idea how dangerous that is? He asks. For a white girl, he means. Other people have cars. Nobody dares walking in the street alone. The chances are too good of getting raped, tortured, and murdered. Life carries no value in this city, but in my world, if you don't have a choice, you have to take your chances. You're worth a lot to me, Valentina. I own you, and I protect what's mine. He returns to the chair and lifts his jacket off the back. Picking up his keys from the desk, he takes my hand and leads me to the garage. I feel so small next to him in the luxurious interior of his car. He says nothing as he steers the sleek Jaguar down the driveway and into the traffic. Instead of heading east, he goes north. He doesn't ask where I'm going, so I keep my mouth shut until he pulls up in front of an exclusive store in Santon. I get out when he comes around to open the door for me, clutching my bag to my chest as he guides me inside the luxurious shop. It's not like any department store I know. There are no items on display. There's only a leather sofa and a glass desk stacked with clothes, purses, and shoes. A pretty young lady greets us by the door and waves an arm to the desk. Everything's ready for you, Mr. Louw. He acknowledges her with a curt nod and ushers me forward. Go ahead. Choose whatever you like. Dumbfounded, I gape at him. What's your colour, darling? The woman asks. Red will look good with your complexion. White too. Silver for the evening. She starts pulling dresses from the heap and drapes them over the sofa. Excuse me. I clear my throat. May I please have a moment with... What do I call him in front of her? Mr. Louw? Gabriel, he corrects. The woman looks from me to Gabriel. There's judgment in her eyes, even if she tries to hide it. I'll fetch refreshments. Take your time. When she disappears into a back room, I turn to Gabriel. What are you doing? I'm getting you clothes. Why? I threw your blue dress in the trash. I don't expect you to replace it. I told you I like to take care of you. Wringing my hands together, I close the distance between us. I can't take your money. His eyes darken, the chipped blue turning stormy. It's legal money. It's not that. It just doesn't feel right. Feels pretty damn good to me. Are you saying making me feel good isn't right? Don't twist my words. He grabs me to him so suddenly my breath catches. Holding me around the waist with one arm, he cups my breast and gives my nipple a soft pinch. Don't test my patience. Immediately, heat floods my body. It bubbles in my veins and sends blood to my clit. My nipples are as hard as pebbles. I want to hate the feelings coursing through me, but I can't. As my body puts my arousal on display, the same heat I feel reflects in his eyes. The shopkeeper returns with a pitcher of iced tea and glasses, but Gabriel doesn't let me go. She measures our stance. Depositing the tray on the table, she says in a professional tone, Have you chosen anything yet? An hour later, I walk out with a new dress, designer jeans, 2 t-shirts, a casual trench coat, a pair of ballerina flats, 5 sets of pretty underwear, and a cute off-the-shoulder sweater. Gabriel pushed me to take more, but this is already more than I need. He loads my parcels in the back of his car, and when we're seated, he turns to me. Where to, beautiful? I'm sure he already knows, but I give him Chris's address. On the way there, I try to figure out what just happened. By the time we pull out in front of the practice, I'm still nowhere near understanding Gabriel. He switches off the engine. Your flat has been sold. Wow, that quickly? I arranged for the money to be paid into your bank account. I hope that's in order? Gabriel, I'm at a loss for words. Thank you. The words don't express my gratitude, but they're all I can muster. No need to thank me. I said I'd handle it. He reaches over me and opens my door, his arm brushing against my breast. Before I can object, he gets my parcels and carries them to Chris's house. Charlie meets us by the door, taking me into a bear hug. Val! Hey, big brother. Gabriel holds out his hand for Charlie to shake. Hi. Remember me? You're the bad man. Gabriel chuckles. I guess you can say that, but I prefer Gabriel. Charlie takes a step back and looks at me with big eyes. It's okay, Charlie. Gabriel isn't going to hurt us. I work for him, remember? After contemplating my response, Charlie's good manners finally win. Want juice? Sure. Gabriel flashes me a smile and makes himself right at home in Chris's kitchen. I'm wary of having him around my brother. I watch him like a hawk while he makes small talk with Charlie. But Charlie quickly warms to Gabriel. When he leaves an hour later, you'd swear they're best buddies. What game is Gabriel playing? He can toy with me if that's the price I have to pay for Charlie's freedom, but I won't let him disrupt my brother's life.
Since Carly is at her mother's this weekend, I have the evening and tomorrow to myself. Magda is out with friends. I ensured that no business meetings were scheduled and gave Rhett and Quincy the weekend off. I pour a whiskey and settle into an armchair in the reading room with Valentina's file in my lap. There's not much in her history I don't already know. Her father, Marvin, was involved in a car cloning syndicate. Her mother, Julieta, was a housewife. Valentina grew up in Rosettenville, in the south. When she was 13, their Chevrolet went off a bridge. Marvin was killed on impact. Valentina survived, and Charlie incurred serious injuries, resulting in brain damage. 1 year later, her mother was killed during an armed bank robbery. An aunt took care of Valentina and Charles, moving into the flat her parents owned in Berea when their house was auctioned to cover the outstanding accounts and funeral costs. The aunt died after Valentina's 19th birthday, leaving her to take care of Charlie alone. My earlier question remains. Why did no one take care of Julieta and her kids? In our business, family is everything. We take care of our own. Marvin wasn't at the top of the hierarchy, but he wasn't a petty thief either. He had enough influence and support to guarantee his widow and children protection, a roof over their heads, and food. Instead, they lived from hand to mouth after his death. I put the file aside and wipe a hand over my face. The second folder contains Valentina's bank activity of the day. Half of the money I paid for her flat was transferred to Chris's account. The other half she paid into an account registered to UNISA. Following up the lead on the University of South Africa, I confirm my assumption. Valentina is enrolled in a correspondence degree in veterinary science. Using my contacts, I have a number for Valentina's mentor at the university within minutes. Even if it's late, I dial the number. It doesn't take long for me to convince Mrs. Cavendish to have breakfast with me tomorrow. I sit at a table tucked away in a private corner on the Rosebank Hotel rooftop when Aletta Cavendish arrives. She's not the old prude her voice made me imagine. The only reason I know it's her is because she walks onto the rooftop at the exact time we agreed. The tall, platinum blonde is in her late 30s. Wedding ring, big diamond. The husband must have a cozy job, because university professors don't earn that much. Her hair is loose around her shoulders, and there's not a trace of makeup on her face. Even without the help of cosmetics, she's attractive. She wears a white t-shirt and flowing Indian print skirt with leather sandals. There must be 20 bangles on her arm. The flower child type. From her straight back and square shoulders, I gather she has confidence. Her walk is easy and light, clearly the type who sleeps well at night. She gives her name to the waiter, and when he motions in my direction, she meets my eyes with a level and friendly stare. For a moment, there's shock in her face when she takes in my features, but her smile doesn't unravel. Her earrings dangle as she approaches my corner. I'm on my feet before she reaches the table. She greets me with a firm handshake. Mr. Louw? Gabriel, please. I pull out her chair and seat her. Thank you for meeting me. Dropping an oversized bag next to her chair, she gives me a scrutinizing look.
I have to admit, if the student concerned wasn't Valentina, I wouldn't be here.
I appreciate your time. I nod at the waiter. Shall we order? As she studies the menu, I observe her. Aletta is intelligent and doesn't beat around the bush. I like her. She's passionate and dedicated. Must make a good teacher. We both order coffee and eggs Benedict. When the waiter's gone, she says,
You said on your phone you're Valentina's new employer. I didn't know she changed jobs.
It's very recent.
What does she do for you exactly?
House management. She tilts her head.
Like a maid?
I smile, keeping my expression even.
I'm surprised, Aletta continues. She loved the job at the vet practice, and it was good experience.
I made her an offer she couldn't refuse. No lies there. The waiter returns to serve our coffee. Aletta stirs in 1 sugar and milk.
In that case, it must be for better money. God knows she can do with every extra cent.
I'm concerned about her financial welfare, which is why I wanted to meet. Valentina doesn't know about it, of course. She's proud. I'd appreciate it if we can keep this discussion between us. She blows on her coffee, watching me from over the rim.
What are you asking me?
How much does she owe?
Isn't that a question you should ask her?
All right, I'll rephrase that. How much does a veterinary degree cost these days?
You're looking at roughly $50,000 a year, excluding books and material.
I know how much she earned before she started working for me. How did she manage?
She has a partial bursary, but it's not enough to cover everything.
Is she a good student?
Honestly, she's hands down the best I've ever had. Her grades are top, but that girl has a natural vet in her. I've never seen animals react to anyone like they behave toward her.
You bet. Then how come she secured only a partial bursary?
With the financial collapse and political unrest, there's very little left in the university coffers. There are no full-time bursaries for vet students. I'm donating her books, but as you said, she's proud. Luckily, Valentina is also strong. Becoming a vet is her dream. She'll find a way.
The food arrives. The waiter arranges the salt and juice, shifting it around several times before he can fit the plates. I've never had to worry about money. If I want something, I go out and buy it. I can't imagine what it's like to work your fingers to the bone and worry about covering your bills, which is ironic coming from a man who makes money from other people's financial troubles. I lean back in my chair. If I'm to create a bursary, can I choose to who it'll go? The knife stills in her hand.
Yes.
She looks at me with mild surprise.
You can name the beneficiary.
The beneficiary doesn't need to know who the sponsor is? A smile warms her eyes.
You can call the bursary whatever you want. It doesn't have to carry your name, and it can certainly be anonymous.
I lean my elbows on the table and tip my fingers together. In that case, I'd like to offer a full bursary, all expenses paid. Her smile turns 10 degrees warmer.
I'll put you in touch with the right person in finance.
Monday. I want to pave this road for Valentina as soon as possible.
Gotcha.
She takes a bite, chews slowly, and swallows.
You know, I had my doubts about you.
Yes?
I thought you were going to tell me Valentina's studies are interfering with her job.
Oh no, nothing like that.
I'm glad I was wrong.
She has no idea. After breakfast, I text my private banker and give instruction for the bursary to be set up. Then I head to Rosettenville. I drive past the address in my file, the house in which Valentina grew up. It's a humble miner's house, the cheap cookie-cutter type the gold mines constructed for their workers and later sold to private owners. In this street, everything looks the same. It's hard to imagine someone like Valentina walking the streets of this average and dull neighborhood. She belongs someplace exotic, someplace beautiful. The main street that houses most of the commercial businesses is quiet. The shops are closed on the weekend. At the mechanic workshop, I park my car and tuck the gun into the back of my waistband. Lambert Roos lives in a house adjoining the workshop. The simple dwelling has a low wall in front, an easy target for thieves. With the fall of Hillbrow and downtown, Rosettenville became a dangerous neighborhood. The fact that he hasn't raised the wall and fitted it with electrified barbed wire tells me one of two things. Either he's too poor, or he's powerful enough for criminals not to fuck with him. Judging from the peeled paint on the walls and the missing roof tiles, I'm putting my money on the first option. I jump over the wall and bang on the door. Footsteps shuffle inside. "Who is it?" a male voice calls. "Gabriel Louw." There's a moment's hesitation before the door swings open on a crack. A short, bald man dressed in a vest and a pair of boxer shorts regards me with skepticism. He shoots a look over my shoulder, his gaze traveling up and down the street. "I'm alone," I say with a cold smile. "Well, well, if it ain't Owen's ugly duckling. How's it?" I should kill him for that remark, but I need information. Shoving past him, I make my way into his house. The place smells like old socks and stale cabbage. The carpets are worn, and the furniture has seen better days. Business must be slow, or maybe not. On the table there are several bags filled with white powder, coke, or maybe cat. His eyes follow mine. A thin layer of perspiration shines on his forehead. "What can I do you for?" he asks with humorless slang. "Want a beer?" He shifts his weight. He's hospitable enough, but he wants me gone. "Remember Marvin Haynes?" Cocking his neck, he blinks twice. "Yeah, who doesn't?" "You must have known him well, seeing that you were supposed to marry his daughter." His puffy eyes narrow, and he utters a forced chuckle. "He lived down the road, but we weren't thick with each other. Saw his missus from time to time in the pharmacy. Why do you ask?" "If Valentina Haynes was promised to you, why didn't your family take her and her brother in after her mother died?" He scratches the back of his neck. "With her daddy gone, the deal was off." "You didn't want to honor the agreement?" "She's not my type." "Bull fucking shit. She's a very pretty woman, isn't she?" "Yeah." "You don't like pretty, or you don't like woman?" "Look, she didn't do it for me." "You backed out because she didn't do it for you?" "Yeah." He's lying through his crooked yellow teeth. "Why do you want to know?" he asks, trying to look nonchalant, but his voice breaks on the last word. I shrug. Curiosity. With a nod, I go back to my car. Before I'm inside, the idiot has his cell phone in his hand, looking at me through the tattered lace curtains as he makes a call. I should have tapped his phone before my visit. It doesn't matter. I'll find out. I'll text Anton with Lambert's name and address, as well as the date and time, instructing him to get a recording of the conversation and send it as an encrypted message to my private email account.
When I step outside Chris's house on late Sunday afternoon, Rhett is waiting across the road next to the Mercedes. He opens the back door in silent instruction for me to get in. Not a word passes between us during the drive to Parktown. My heart is sad to leave Charlie. I feel guilty for not being able to take care of him, but more than that, I miss his presence. His joy is innocent and genuine. He's the only piece of uncomplicated truthfulness in the twisted emotions of my life. Despite my sadness, my body starts humming when we get nearer to the house. Like a conditioned animal, my body becomes aroused at the knowledge that it will soon be with my captor, while my brain condemns the reaction. I hate this division between my thoughts and physical reactions. I'm at constant war with myself. Gabriel himself waits on the porch. My heart gives an unwelcome lurch at the sight of his muscular shape. He gets the door and my parcels, the new clothes still unpacked and the price tags intact. Rhett disappears to wherever. The minute he's gone, Gabriel brushes his lips over the shell of my ear. Welcome home. The words grate on me. This isn't my home. My home is with Charlie. What Gabriel is doing to us as a family is wrong. I hurry inside and make my way to my room. A minute later, Gabriel steps inside, standing like a menacing dark energy at the foot of the bed. What's wrong? Nothing. Aren't you happy you got to spend time with your brother? I give him a hard look. Of course I am. I start unpacking the clothes, taking my time to fold each item meticulously. He lets me carry on like this for a while before taking the pile from my hands and leaving it on the bed. Let's go for a swim. My jaw drops. He's inviting a house servant for a dip in his pool? What do you say, Valentina? I don't have a bathing suit. You don't need one. Without waiting for a response, he takes my wrists, pulls me through the kitchen and out the back door. On the deck, he starts stripping his clothes. I glance around to make sure we're alone. What are you doing? Swimming naked with you. Are you crazy? We're alone. Magda's out and Carly won't be back before tomorrow. Gabriel stands stark naked and hard in front of me. His scarred body is terrifying in its brutal beauty. The marks on his foot and knee don't diminish his physical perfection. To me, they add to his appeal, making him breathtakingly perfect in a broken kind of way. Is it the warped attractiveness of imperfection, or is it a part of me that is just attracted to everything that is dark and destructive? Flashing me his rock-hard ass, he walks to the deep end and dives. Water splashes onto the side, and the sound reminds me of holidays and stress-free times long gone. "Come on," he says. "The water's good." It's tempting. It's been a hot-as-hell day, and my body feels sticky. I can't remember the last time I swam. My gaze travels in the direction of the staff quarters. Rhett. Rhett won't come near the house unless I give him an order. Now, I'm giving you one. Get in. All right. Pulling off my trainers and clothes, I walk to the edge of the pool. The minute our gazes lock, there's a shift in his. The ice in his eyes makes way for a molten look of heat. Unashamedly, he ogles my breasts and lower. His cock grows enormous under the water. I wish I wasn't tingling between my legs or that my nipples hadn't hardened. But I'm as helpless to my reaction as I am to his wordless command when he curls his finger at me. Stepping into the cool water at the shallow end, I leave my guilt and judgment behind. No matter how hard I protest, Gabriel will do whatever he wants. The crazy, unequal power play gives me a measure of absolution. When I'm up to my waist in the water, he swims to me and grabs a fistful of hair. Pulling my head back to arch my upper body, he latches onto a nipple and sucks my breast deep into his mouth. I cry out as pain assaults the sensitive tip. Immediately, he pulls back to look at me. "You usually like that." I cup the sore curve. It's almost that time of the month. They get overly sensitive. He studies my breasts with new interest, taking both into his hands. "They're bigger." He jiggles them, making me groan with discomfort. "And heavier." His hands move down my side to my hips and over my swollen stomach. "When's your period due?" "Tomorrow." I shake a little when I say it. After that, the birth control will be effective, and nothing will prevent him from taking the final step. He eases up then, setting my body free. "Maybe the water will do you good." It does. We swim a few laps and just drift around without talking. By the time we get out, my skin is wrinkled. Gabriel fetches towels from the pool house and covers me with one on a deck chair. For a few blissful moments, I forget my circumstances and simply enjoy the rays of the setting sun on my face. I've never been alone with him in the house. There's less tension when no one else is around. When it starts to get cool, he carries me inside and lies me down on my bed. Like every night he came to my room, he makes me come. He's gentle, avoiding my sore breasts and swollen abdomen. Afterward, he lets me take him in my mouth and stays with me for another hour. Does he hold other women like this? Does he go out to fuck someone after he's been with me? I've never seen another female in the house except for the woman in his study, but that doesn't mean he's celibate. Maybe he entertains his women elsewhere to protect Carly. For all I know, he has a girlfriend. Maybe it's the woman I saw. Maybe he's fucking her brains out every night after he leaves my room. Our silence is no longer amiable. I can't help myself from asking, "Are you sleeping with someone?" His chest vibrates against my back with a chuckle. "Does it matter?" If the ache in my ribs is anything to go by, yes, it does. But I'd die before admitting it. Just wondering. Hell, I don't even sound convincing to myself. "Her name is Helga." It's like he punches the wind out of me with a fist in the stomach. I wanted to know, and now I regret asking. I especially don't want to know her name. Pain lances me from all directions, rendering me vulnerable. Jealousy mounts in my chest. "She's the woman you saw in my study. That's what you're really asking, isn't it?" Now that it's out, I may as well go the full 9 yards and let myself hurt thoroughly. Maybe the ache will dampen my need for Gabriel. Did you sleep with her? Yes. After a moment, he continues. But I haven't fucked her since you arrived. Something gives in my torso, like an elastic band that snaps. Stupidly, I feel like crying. Correction, I feel like bawling. Damn PMS. It doesn't matter. His laugh is knowing. Of course not. Why haven't you slept with her? I hold my breath for something I can't name. I don't want to. But he may. Gabriel is the kind of man who takes what he wants, not by force, but by making your own body betray you, by stealing your will and breaking every one of your good intentions, leaving you with a hole only he can fill. Where I'm aching now, only his cock can fill the empty feeling. It's twisted. He made me want him, need him, like I need water, while he can walk away on a whim whenever he doesn't want me. There'll come a day I'll be the next Helga. A day he won't come to my room to make me come just because he doesn't want to any longer. He's an asshole, and I hate myself for being affected. You're quiet, he muses. If you're tired, I'll let you sleep. Longing for solitude so I can curl into a ball, I let the lies spill from my lips. That'll be kind. My heart drops when his weight lifts from the mattress. With a chaste kiss on my forehead, he walks from my room. Finally, I have the solitude I demanded, but I'm utterly and miserably lonely. On Monday morning, Magda awaits me in the kitchen with shocking news. Marie had a stroke. You'll take over the menu planning, she says, and the cooking. Run it past me to approve. She points at the computer in the corner. You'll find the budget and supermarkets that deliver on the system. Will she be all right? I don't know. Her daughter will let me know. It's mighty inconvenient, though, seeing we're having a formal business dinner at the house on Friday. Oh, you'll have to see to the catering and serving. I'll email the menu to the kitchen computer. I'm only expecting 2 or 3 guests. She writes a code on the message pad. Here's the password. She's halfway to the door before I find the courage to speak. I'm not sure I can manage. She twirls around to narrow her eyes at me. Do you have a problem? The cleaning and cooking, it's a lot for one person. It's not that I'm not willing, but it's a big house. I don't want to neglect one or the other. Then make sure you don't. Her lips thin into a smile. Your life depends on it. I stare at her back as she leaves the kitchen. I hate the haughty clack of her heels as much as I detest the traffic cone colour of her lipstick. She may look down on me because I'm poor and treat me like a slave because she owns 9 years of my life, but when those 9 years are over, I'll never take an order from her again. I'll take Charlie and move to another town, a city where the Louws don't rule. Allowing the intention to strengthen my resolve, I switch on the computer and wait for it to boot up so I can place the grocery order for the day. Monday and Tuesday pass in a blur. I wangle some sort of schedule, vacuuming only every second day and ironing later at night. By Tuesday evening, we get an update from Marie's daughter, stating she won't be back at work for at least 6 months. Since I don't know Marie's recipes, I don't have a choice but to change the menu. What I know is more my late mother's Mediterranean style. I find a small local producer of fresh produce, which turns out not only to be organic, but also cheaper. The fruit and vegetables aren't pretty, but they're tasty. I also order less cleaning products. I can wash a floor just as well with a bit of vinegar and water than with an expensive product that smells like summer orchard, but that has been tested on animals. The result is a 30% saving on the weekly grocery bill. The new work pace is strenuous. On top of that, my period arrived right on time. I've always suffered from a heavy flow that leaves me feeling weak. I order an iron supplement with my personal deliveries to boost me for the big night on Friday. The last thing I want is to fail my first dinner party test when my life depends on it. Despite my period, Gabriel still comes to me at night. but instead of bringing me to the earth-shattering climaxes I got used to, he fondles my body with back rubs and massages. It's strange and out of character for him, not that he's predictable. The more Magda pushes me, the kinder Gabriel acts towards me, which infuriates Magda. It's a vicious circle between the two of them, and I'm caught in the middle. Carly is cool, but not completely unfriendly since she got to go out on her date. Sebastian is allowed to visit her at home with her grandmother or father's supervision, but as Gabriel is always out during the day, it's mostly Magda who keeps an eye on the lovebirds. On Wednesday, Carly is alone by the pool. When I pick up her towel to put it in the wash, I notice she left her iPad outside, something she does often. I take it with the intention to put it away in the house, but as I reach the sliding doors, Quincy's voice stops me. "Hey, Val, look, Bruno's all better." Bruno runs on a leash with Quincy, the limp gone. The dog barks and wags his tail furiously when I approach. Leaving the iPad on the wall, I go down on my haunches and get a sloppy dog kiss. I laugh, wiping my face with the back of my hand. "Glad to see you're back in shape, boy." "Thanks again." "I'm glad I could help." I straighten and glance over my shoulder at the house. "I better get back. Lots to do." "Yeah." He looks uncomfortable. "Are you coping?" "Sure." "Valentina," Magda says from the door, her condescending stare resting on Quincy and me, as if she's caught us making out or something. "If you've finished socializing, we need to talk about Friday's menu." "Bye, Bruno." I stroke his back and smile at Quincy in greeting. His eyes are hard as he directs them to the door where Magda waits with her hands on her hips. But I don't give it further thought as I hurry inside. It's not until the following morning, when Carly makes a ruckus at breakfast about her missing iPad, that I remember leaving it outside. Magda summons me to the dining room. At first, I'm in the dark when Carly points finger at me and exclaims, "She took it! It was there last night, and now it's gone!" "Did you take Carly's iPad?" Magda asks. "Don't bother lying, because I'll be going through your room myself." My insides freeze, remembering where I left it. They go even colder when I look at Gabriel. He's regarding me with a frown. He believes I stole it? Hurt lances into my heart. Why does it matter what he thinks? "Well?" Magda asks with a flick of her penciled eyebrow. "I meant to bring it in last night, but I got distracted and forgot it on the wall." "Distracted with Quincy," Magda says snidely. A thunderous expression darkens Gabriel's face. Of the three people in the room, right now, I'm most scared of him. "I'll go get it," I offer quickly, but Carly's already on her feet, heading for the door. Magda folds her hands on the table and gives me a single instruction. "Stay." I stand quietly in the uncomfortable silence until Carly's screaming filters through the back door. Everything inside of me tightens further. "It's ruined!" Carly shouts, running into the room with the iPad. It's dripping with water. Gabriel's tone is flat. "On which wall did you leave it, Valentina?" "The one by the pool!" Carly shoots daggers at me with her eyes. "The sprinklers reach there at night," Gabriel says almost distantly. "This is your fault," Carly continues in hysterics. "Do you realize how many photos I had on there? Not to mention my homework." "Carly." Gabriel's quiet but hard voice instantly shuts her up. "Let that be a lesson well learned for leaving your iPad outside. It's not the first time. It was bound to happen." "Dad!" He holds up a hand, giving her a dark look. "Let me finish. You can recover your homework and photos from iCloud." "I didn't activate it." Gabriel's tone is uncompromising. Not a flicker of sympathy warms his eyes. "Lesson number 2, well learned. From now on, you'll make a backup like I told you." He turns to me, suddenly looking tired. "I'll deal with you after breakfast." "You'll replace Carly's iPad," Magda says. "It'll teach you to be less forgetful in future." She shakes her napkin out on her lap. "Now, I want to eat in peace. Quiet, all of you." Carly flops down in her seat, her face red. I'm shaky as I return to the kitchen, cursing myself for my negligence. I can't afford to replace the iPad, not without making more debt. It doesn't take long for Gabriel to come to find me. The words I dreaded most leave his lips. Go to the gym after you've cleared the table. Going down to the basement is like a walk to the gallows. He's already waiting inside, his tie removed and his shirt sleeves rolled back. Close the door, he says quietly. I push until I hear the click, but I don't have the courage to turn and face him. Come here. I bite my nail as I gather enough strength to obey, one step at a time. When I stop in front of him, he pulls my hand from my mouth. Undress. My eyes lift to his. I don't mean to beg, but it slips out anyway. Please. He doesn't bat an eye. There's no compassion, no mercy. Undress. As I pull off my shoes, dress and underwear, he watches me like a hawk. By now, I'm used to his scrutinizing stare, and it's less embarrassing than during those first few times, but not less frightening. Once I'm naked, he taps a finger on his lips, studying my face. Finally, he drops his arm as if he's made a decision and points at the floor. On your back. I swallow as I lie down on my back, watching him fetch a bar with a set of handcuffs secured on each end. What are you doing? I ask as he locks my wrists on either end. He gathers my panties and bundles them into my mouth. Sorry, beautiful, but I'm not in the mood for dialogue right now. I mumble a protest when he locks my ankles to my wrists, spreading me open on the bar. He pushes the bar back until it touches the mat, raising my arms above my head and my legs with them. Flat on my back, my ass and pussy are exposed in the most vulnerable way. My hamstrings are on fire. I shift in an effort to relieve the uncomfortable stretch when he fetches an object from the torture shelf. He returns with a wooden paddle. I shake my head, pleading with my eyes, but he grips the bar and lifts a few times, giving me a brief reprieve from the position before he pushes down flat and starts paddling my ass. The first whack on my ass cheek comes as a shock. I scream behind the bundle of fabric in my mouth, even if the sting heats my skin without hurting. The second lash makes me jerk. But when I realize he's caressing my skin rather than inflicting pain, I almost relax. He works his way from left to right on the fleshy part of my ass until my nerve endings are on fire and my clit is a pulsing nub of ache. My vagina feels swollen. The need for release is severe. When I'm no longer begging with my eyes for him to stop, I'm begging him to let me feel the paddle where I crave it most. Only after every inch of my skin is humming with electric sparks does he finally bring the paddle down right in the middle of my pussy, covering my opening and clit. With the tampon inside me, it feels full and good. I grind up, desperate for more, but he changes to a slower and gentler rhythm, teasing me mercilessly with a few too soft taps on my swollen parts. Just when I think I can't take more, he pulls the underwear from my mouth and says, "Beg." I don't hesitate. "Please, Gabriel." "Please what?" Please fuck me." He goes still. There's a mixture of shock and disbelief on his face, which is slowly replaced with satisfaction. Heat darkens his eyes. His jaw tightens as he looks down at my sex. "Please." His chest is rising and falling rapidly, his breathing as harsh as mine. There's only the sound of our pants in the room. Then he exhales with a long, shaky breath. He pushes the paddle down on my clit and starts massaging with circular movements. Everything clenches as I come violent with a spasm that shatters my respiration. I'm out of air by the time he frees the constraints and drags me to my knees. In his haste to undo his pants, his fingers fumble with the button. I grab the waistband and pull it down to his hips to help, not bothering with the zip. His cock juts at me, the tip close to my lips. I devour him like a crazy, starving woman, sucking and licking until he grabs my hair for leverage. He clenches his ass with a primal roar and a curse as he empties himself into my mouth. I swallow as best as I can, trying to breathe through my nose. I don't want him to pull out. I want him in me forever. After a moment, he grips my face in the vice of his giant hands and eases out of my mouth. He uses my hair to wipe himself clean, an act I find strangely and savagely satisfying. Pulling me to my feet, he shoves his tongue between my lips, tasting himself on my mouth. he nips and sucks, bites and laves. I'm aware of nothing but the heated skin of my ass and the wetness of his mouth as he steals my reason. His taste is addictive. I don't know for how long he kisses me before he pushes me away with a gentle shove. "Get dressed," he says in a hoarse voice, "and leave." Confused by the change in his behavior, I obey wordlessly, empty and dissatisfied despite the orgasm I just had. At the door, his words make me pause. He grits out every syllable like he has to push it from his throat. "Put on a pretty dress tonight. You're going on a date."
When I asked her to beg, I expected her to beg for release. Instead, she begged me to fuck her. She's ready. I both rejoice and shiver in dread, because the first time won't be with me. No matter how much I want to take her virginity, I made a promise to myself, and I never break my promises. This time, I may be pushed to my limits to keep this promise, but I already have a plan. Magda waits in my study when I get back from the gym. I grit my teeth as I stroll past her.
Did you do it?
I know what she means, but I ask anyway. Do what?
Punish her.
Yes. I sit down and open my laptop.
How?
Appropriately. Carly learned a valuable lesson. There was nothing to punish Valentina for. I'm a sick bastard for using the situation to feed my own lust. Magda doesn't budge.
How?
I shoot her an incredulous look. You want the juicy details?
What is it about her that's got you thinking with your dick instead of your head?
Don't insult me, and your reference to my dick is highly inappropriate. Her eyes, the same watery blue as mine, turn dark with anger. She slaps her palms on my desk, bringing us at eye level.
You're just like your goddamn father.
Keeping my voice calm and my gaze indifferent, I say, if you can't speak without repeating yourself, and you have nothing new to say, please get out of my office so I can focus on the business of running your business. Her nostrils flare. The thick layer of foundation around her nose cracks with thin lines. The pores are big, with white hairs standing erect in each follicle. Every minute detail of her age catches my attention. You won't live forever, Magda. She straightens and adjusts her jacket.
Neither will you.
A superior smile curves her lips.
Who knows? You may die before me.
She turns, making it clear she's leaving my office on her terms. There's no love lost between my mother and I, and no amount of introspection to figure out where it went wrong will change that. We are who we are. I pick up the phone and set out to do what I've been meaning to when I walked through the door. Quincy answers with a bright, "Yes, boss?" "Come to my study." I take a deep breath and steel myself. A short while later, he enters. I want to break his face, but it's not his fault he's fallen for Valentina. As little as it's hers. She's a gorgeous woman with a courageous heart and a soft spot for animals. How could he not be under her spell? Sit. I point at the chair facing my desk. He takes the seat, his posture at ease. I have a mission for you tonight. He waits quietly for me to continue. You're going to fuck Valentina. Chapter 10. I may as well have drenched Quincy with a bucket of ice water. He coughs. Excuse me? Take her out on a date. Someplace nice, romantic. Dinner by candlelight. That kind of thing. I flip my credit card at him. All expenses paid. Take 2 guards to make sure you're safe. His eyes grow larger by the second. The next part is hard for me to get out. I swallow the bitter taste in my mouth. Then get a room at the Westcliff Hotel and fuck her. His skin is as pale as the whites of his eyes. I don't understand. There's nothing to understand. Wear a condom and be gentle. It's her first time. Oh, and she's having her period. That kind of thing doesn't put you off, does it? Of course not, but... Not able to stomach the conversation any longer, I say gruffly, You're dismissed. He jumps to his feet, obviously eager to escape my presence. One more thing, I say as he gets to the door. I don't want to see you until tomorrow morning. Make sure you stay the hell away from me until sunrise, and then I expect a full report. He all but jumps through the door, leaving me alone with a kind of agony no human being can understand. In the afternoon, a visit from Sylvia puts me further on edge. I meet her in my study. It keeps things professional. She declines my offer for a drink and sits down on the corner of my desk, the slit of her skirt riding up her thigh. At some point in time, I would have kneeled at her feet and kissed my way down that leg, all the way to her toes. Now, there's no desire for the woman who married me in a pretty white dress with a fake smile on her face.
What's with Carly's new diet? She asks. We've already discussed this. You're not supposed to change your meal plan without consulting me.
I fight to control my irritability. I'm not aware of any diet.
She's wheat intolerant, for God's sake. She's not supposed to eat pasta. What's wrong with Marie? Is she going senile?
Marie had a stroke. Valentina's taking care of the cooking.
The maid who tried to kill our daughter?
She shrieks. She didn't do it on purpose. It was another one of Carly's attention-seeking, self-destructive actions.
Don't you dare take that maid's side over our daughters.
I sigh deeply. Relax. Valentina has been punished. It won't happen again.
I won't relax where Carly is concerned. She has a modeling audition in a month. She can't afford to pick up weight with carbs and creamy pasta sauces.
She's not doing a modeling audition.
It's not up for discussion.
Have you called the therapist? She stiffens.
Carly doesn't need a therapist. It's hormones. Natural teenager issues.
Sylvia, I say her name warningly. Carly never got over our divorce. It's time to face the fact that she may have issues we're not equipped to deal with. She snickers.
That's rich coming from the breaker.
Keep the business out of this.
How can I? It's all that matters in your life.
Yet that's why you married me. Security and money. Don't you remember?
Don't be so dramatic. Why do you always have to bring up the same old accusations? It's boring.
She gets to her feet.
Shall I speak to your maid?
You lost the right to address my staff when you walked out. She rolls her shoulders.
Dear God, Gabriel. Get over me and move on.
I am, Sylvia. You have no idea.
Good. It'll make you easier to get on with.
She walks to the door with a straight back.
Tell Carly I dropped in.
Why don't you call her tonight and tell her yourself? She narrows her eyes.
Fuck you, Gabriel. I love my daughter and she knows it.
Does she? She yanks the door open and slams it hard enough to shake the frame. Dragging a hand over my face, I take a moment to calm myself before I go out for the business of the day that requires the end of another scumbag's life. When I get home, I shower and spend time with Carly, helping her with her math homework. I don't go down for dinner. I can't bear to look at Valentina. I'm too terrified I'll change my mind. After a whiskey too many, I call Rhett and tell him to meet me in the gym. He enters cautiously, probably thinking of the last time we wrestled because he shot Valentina's dog. Dragging a bench from the free weights section to the metal chains attached to the wall, I sit down. Cuff me. It takes him a moment to find his voice. What? You heard me. Not stupid enough to defy me, he approaches slowly. I hold out my wrists. He secures first the one, then the other in the metal cuffs. Take the key with you, I say, and don't give it to anyone, no matter what.
The key for the cuffs or the door?
Both. His head bobs up and down, like a toy dog in a car dashboard.
When must I come back?
At 6 tomorrow morning, and not a second before. Got that? He gulps.
Yes.
Go. His eyes say I've finally lost it, but he doesn't argue. The key scrapes in the lock after he's closed the door, making me a prisoner of free will.
Wearing the new dress Gabriel bought, I bite my nails while I wait in the kitchen. I've never been on a date. I should be studying, but I'm curious about what Gabriel has planned. The door opens just after 8, but it's not Gabriel who steps inside. It's Quincy. Hi, I say with an easy smile, half relieved and half stressed, because now I'll have to go through the waiting anxiety again. There's a flush on his cheeks as he takes in the red dress. You look nice. This is so uncomfortable. Thanks. Ready? I blink. Maybe he's driving me somewhere to meet Gabriel. Yes. Let's go. He looks me over. Take a jacket. It'll get fresh later. I grab my black trench coat and follow Quincy to the car. He drives. Another car follows at a distance. I peer at the headlights in the side mirror. Are they going to follow us all night? Protection, he mumbles, his forehead pleated in a frown. Where are we going? I was thinking the Thai hut. It got 5-star reviews for its curry dishes, and it's fancy without being uptight. What do you think? I have no idea where or what the Thai hut is, but my brain is stuck on something else. Wait, you mean you and I decide? Gabriel's not coming? He shoots me a quick look. Oh, fuck. He didn't tell you? Tell me what? He clenches the wheel and faces straight ahead. This is... how do I put it? He set us up on a date. Me and you? Hey, he utters a wry chuckle. I know I'm not the world's greatest hunk, but there's no need to say it like you won't go out with me if I'm the last man on earth, which you probably wouldn't, even if it was true. I'm so gobsmacked, I have to remind myself to shut my mouth. I don't understand. Neither do I. He shifts in his seat. Look, I'll be honest with you. All I know is Gabriel ordered me to show you a good time tonight. He ordered you? Who the hell orders anyone to go on a date? What am I? A piece of meat up for auction? I narrow my eyes. What else? He steals another glance at me. What do you mean, what else? A good time and what else? He wipes a hand over his face. Dinner, candles, and what? He wants me to sleep with you. Stop the car! Valentina, now! I'm already jerking on the door handle. He brings the car to a screeching halt on the side of the road and grabs my arm. Please, calm down. We've got his guards watching us. I still at his words. I can't believe Gabriel set me up with Quincy. For sex. I cover my face with my hands. I'm so embarrassed. He pulls my hands away. It's not your fault. You have nothing to be ashamed of. I don't know what Gabriel's idea with the whole thing is, but we may as well go out and have a good time since he's paying. He adds quickly, I'm not saying you have to sleep with me. We'll just say it didn't work out that way. I know you don't feel for me like that, and I'm not in the habit of forcing women. Thanks. I drag in a shaky breath. I guess you're right. We'll just go on our make-believe date and order the most expensive dishes on the menu. Good. He pats my hand. Now I can relax. Man, this was eating me, you have no idea. I can't help but laugh. Sorry, I didn't want you to stress over sex with me. Must be a terrifying thought. He gives me another wry smile. Don't put words in my mouth now. The tightness in my chest vanishes a bit, but not the hurt that Gabriel would rather send me off to be serviced like a cow or horse than deal with me himself. I need to change the uncomfortable subject. How come you got to train with Bruno? I ask. I was the only one more or less not scared of him. You should treat him better. I saw what you're feeding him. May as well give him sawdust. He chortles. Yeah? What do you recommend? I'll give you the name of a good brand, but you'll have to order it from the vet. Is this an order or a request? He asks mockingly. It's not like Gabriel can't afford the best. You're right. His smile is bright. We'll give it a try. The Thai hut is a small wooden house on stilts with colourful fairy lights draped over the porch. The interior smells of curry and the ambience is warm. Despite myself, I relax with Quincy's easy banter. We polish off a bottle of wine, and by the time we ask for the bill, there are no other diners left. Since Quincy is over the limit, one of the guards drives us back. At home, he kisses me on the cheek and saunters off to the staff quarters. The night guard lets me in. After a second's hesitation, I take the stairs to Gabriel's room. I want some answers, and I want them now. I push the door open, anger making me brave, but the room is dark and empty. Maybe he is out himself, doing what he wanted me to do with Quincy. Banishing the thought from my mind, I go to my room and try not to think about him as I fall asleep.
The overhead tungsten bulbs buzz with a constant noise. Their blue-white light washes out the shadows with an overly bright intensity. It's been an hour since Rhett left me in the gym. I'm going through the week's business in my mind, trying to focus on planning and figures, but my thoughts keep on drifting to Valentina and Quincy. Where are they? What are they doing? What is she wearing? Is her hair hanging loose down her back, or did she take it up in the messy bun she does on a Sunday? Maybe it's tied in the ponytail she wears for work, and my God is pulling the elastic from the silky strands right now, letting it spill over her full breasts. Is he pressing his lips against the soft, plump curve of her mouth? Is his hand between her legs? A jerk on the cuffs, rattling the chains like a beast in a cage. A cry of outrage fills the space. It takes me several long breaths to find some resemblance of calm, forcing my brain to function rationally. I made a promise. This is for Valentina. It shreds my heart to bleeding pieces, but I've seen the way they look at each other. Quincy is smitten with my woman, and she likes him more than she'll ever admit. Daily, I'm forced to witness the way her eyes light up when they run into each other in the garden. His gentleness towards her is shoved down my throat. It's a reminder that I'll never have her like another man can have her, a man with a handsome face and an easy smile. A man without darkness and a need to hurt and own her. She'll never be mine like that, freely. But it doesn't matter. I'll never let her go. In exchange for forever, I'm giving her this one night. She deserves it pretty, with a gentleman on top, offering her a handsome face to stare up at and an unbroken body to hold on to. Does he find her wet? No! A strain against the chains. My roar sounds animalistic, even to my own ears. I can't do it. I can't stand it. Fuck my promise. Rhett! My voice carries through the room, lifting the roof. Let me the fuck out! Open the door! I shout profanities and utter threats even Magda will be ashamed of, jerking on the cuffs until my skin is chafed raw, and I'm running the risk of pulling my arms out of their sockets. I scream until my voice is hoarse, but the sounds are trapped in the room designed for exactly that purpose. Valentina! I struggle in a rage so dark that reason flees my mind. I grapple with thoughts that slice my heart open and blind me in the red fury of my possessive jealousy. I wrestle with nothing but the air, as if I can strangle those images torturing my mind and lay them to rest. Clawing and kicking, I twist my body until the bench falls from under me. I kick at the wood with my boots. The splintering crunch as it breaks, a satisfying sound that feeds my need for violence. Pain shoots up my injured leg, a sharp stab lancing in my knee. I fight until every part of me is hurting as much as my heart. Until I have no more energy left. Sweat-drenched and battered, I sag in my chains, hanging by the threads of sanity. The irony of where I find myself isn't lost on me. I'm chained in my own torture chamber, suffering a self-inflicted torture far worse than anything I've done to any enemy who's ever had the displeasure of crossing this doorstep. Valentina. Her name is a croak. My throat burns. I can no longer scream. I can only sob and give in to the cruelty of my imagination as it leads me on a graphic tour of Valentina's first time. Sometime during the early hours, I wake. I find a position on my knees, my arms pulled up and my head hanging between my shoulders. I must have passed out from physical exhaustion. My throat and eyes are dehydrated, scratchy. Everything inside of me is raw. I did her a favor, but the selfish part of me is too great. The possessive part of me too complete to accept it gracefully. I glance at the wall clock. It's done. Too late. The key turns in the lock, and the door opens. Rhett pauses when he takes in the scene. Come get me, I grate out. He hesitates, but finally approaches with quick steps. As he unlocks me, he avoids my eyes. The minute I'm free, he retreats to the far end of the room. Leave, I growl, frightened that I'll take it out on him. He doesn't let me tell him twice. Like an arrow from a bow, he shoots through the door, his steps falling in a fast jog down the hallway. I wipe a hand over my face, the stubble where there's no beard a reminder that I need a shower and a shave. Every ounce of my body is pulled tight. More than anything, I want to hunt Quincy down and kill him. In less than an hour, I'll face him and listen to his account. I want every fucking detail so I can pretend I've been there, part of it all. I'm too damn jealous to even spare myself the pain. Walking to the wet bar that's always stocked with bottled water and drinks, torturing people is thirsty work. I pour a whiskey and shoot it back neat. Then another, and another. I need the alcohol if I'm not going to crush Quincy's windpipe and rip off his dick. For good measure, I have a fourth. The alcohol burns my stomach and relieves the worst of the rawness in my throat from the vile curses I uttered all night. My skin heats, and my brain blurs enough to dull my emotions, enough to get through the hour that awaits, without committing a murder in my own house.
At 5, I'm up as usual, but Gabriel doesn't come to the kitchen for his coffee. I leave his breakfast on the hot tray and shrug inwardly. If he had a rough night, I hope he wakes up with a hell of a hangover. It'll serve him right for the stunt he tried to pull on me. Still seething with annoyance, I take the washing basket and set out to collect the dirty laundry. In the hallway, my step slows as none other than Gabriel turns the corner, heading my way. He looks like shit. His hair is disheveled, standing in every direction, and stubble blurs the neatly shaved line of his beard. His eyes are bloodshot, and his clothes, the same clothes from last night, are creased. Wherever he's been, he looks like he slithered out of some woman's bed a second ago. His eyes fix on me with a kind of intensity that isolates us in this moment. Everything else fades away as he nails me with his glacier stare, making me shiver inside. He holds me locked in invisible constraints until he's almost on top of me. Even if I want to, I can't move. I'm frozen to the spot. He leans an arm above his head on the wall and crosses one ankle over the other, his stance both relaxed and intimidating as he stares down at me. So, his eyes run over me from top to bottom. How was last night? There's a bite in his words that's contradictory to the flash of hurt in his eyes. The whiskey that laces his breath drifts to me on the air. He's been out drinking. I want to tell him he's an asshole, but his masculinity folds around me like a cloak, the power he has over me both frightening and exciting. Did he kiss you? He asks in a drawl, cool amusement masking something else I can't place. On a first date? I say sarcastically. Some men are gentlemen, you know. First, he looks surprised, then relieved, and then angry. Are you telling me nothing happened? Like I said, Quincy is a gentleman. Predator intent fills his eyes. He moves so close to me I can see his pupils dilate. Then it seems it's not a gentleman you need. I pull myself to my full height, my breasts brushing over his chest in the process, but I don't care. Why, Gabriel? You look disappointed. I bat my eyelashes in mock innocence. What were you hoping for? He reaches out so fast I jump in fright and drop the basket when he grabs my wrist. I offered you a chance to have it pretty. His lips thin. I offered you beautiful. You blew that chance, and now you're left with hard and ugly. He squeezes to the point of pain. You're left with me. There's so much meaning in these words, I can't stop the shiver that crawls up my spine. He releases me with a soft shove and says in a quiet, threatening voice, Remember, you begged for it. Picking up the basket, he pushes it into my arms and walks around me like I'm nothing but an irritating obstacle in his way. If I was infuriated last night, I'm 10 times more so now. You can't pass me around like a toy for your men, I say to his back, and you can't decide who I sleep with. He stops and takes 2 steps back to me. His smile is cold and cruel. That's where you're wrong. Your property, Valentina. You agreed to any duty I see fit. I can share you however I want, but you don't have to worry about being a toy for my men. I don't like to share my toys. Last night was a big fucking gift. Not for Quincy. For you. Heat and possessive intent darken his eyes, making him look more dangerous than ever. And it'll never happen again. He stalks away with a heavy limp, leaving me trembling with something other than anger. Understanding blooms in me. Gabriel wanted my first experience to be with someone normal. He wanted me to have a taste of how sweet it can be before he submits me to the dark lust I sense in him. I brace my back against the wall and take a few deep breaths. I'm not sure what's worse, that I find his intentions sweet, or that I crave the darkness he's withholding from me. Chapter 11. That afternoon, Gabriel goes out on a job and doesn't return for dinner. I'm already in bed when I hear his uneven gait in the kitchen. Rummaging sounds coming from the pantry. If he's hungry, I left his food in the oven. I'm not ready to face him, but I can't put it off indefinitely. Rather now than later. Entering the scullery, I forget my apprehension. Gabriel is removing a bloody shirt over the basin, the medicine kit balanced on the edge. Gabriel! I run to him, my eyes doing a quick evaluation of his state. There's a cut in his shoulder through which blood is oozing and several scrapes on his stomach and ribs. He presses the shirt to the wound and opens the tap. Shh! Where's Carly? She went to bed after dinner. What happened? I take the shirt from him and dump it in the trash can. It's torn and stained beyond saving. Business. He flinches when I touch the wound to assess how deep the cut is. This needs stitches. Where are Rhett and Quincy? I sent them to bed. It's not that serious. He flashes me an amused smile. But your concern is flattering. This is no time for jokes. Taking disinfectant and sterile gauzes from the medicine kit, I start cleaning the wound. Good thing blood doesn't make you queasy. I don't return his smile. I don't even want to think what sinister activity earned him these injuries. Give me a needle and thread, he orders. Only Gabriel will keep sterile needles and surgical thread in his medicine kit. I locate the items and hold them out to him. He takes a vanity mirror from the shelf and balances it on the counter. I watch as he pulls the thread through the eye of the needle, but when he angles himself towards the mirror and pushes the needle through the skin at the top of the cut, I take over. He lets me, studying me as I work to sew him back together. I'm no nurse. I'm not even a vet, but I've watched Chris stitch up cuts plenty of times. He winces, but he doesn't say a word until the cut is closed and dressed. Thank you. You're welcome. I dispose of the used materials and scrub the basin and my hands with disinfectant. When I'm done, I give him a painkiller and anti-inflammatory with a glass of water. He drinks the pills without protest. Fine lines of fatigue mark his eyes and the corners of his mouth. His permanent frown lines run deeper than usual. Taking his hand, I lead him to my bathroom. What are you doing? He asks. Getting the blood off you. You should be worried about catching AIDS. He grins. Next time, I'll wear surgical gloves. I snort. He lets me undress him while the water runs warm. I have to undress as well so my clothes don't get wet, but the shower in my bath is too small for both of us to stand comfortably. When I'm with him in the shower, he has to drape me over his body or hold me in his arms. I angle the water away from his wound and wash the rest of his body, trying to be gentle on his abdomen where he's bruised. When he's clean, I wrap a towel around his waist and take another to pat him dry. I have to stand on the toilet to reach his hair. Judging by the teeth he flashes me, he finds my care amusing, but he doesn't interfere or take over. I dry his back, chest and arms, and then I go down on my knees to rub the towel up his legs. There are so many muscles on these legs. They knit together in rigid lines, defining the man's hard exterior with an accurate mirror image of what lies inside his soul. As I'm pushing to my feet, he prevents me with his hands on my shoulders. I look up. He's devouring me with his eyes, his cock tenting the towel at my eye level. Valentina. There's a plea in the way he says my name. I can't help but want to please him. My reply to his unspoken question is to tug on the towel and let it fall to the floor. I take him in my mouth, and like always, he lets me do whatever I want. I suck him as deep as I can, eating him hungrily. He groans and dips his knees, giving himself over to me. I take his pleasure like I own it, like it's his duty to give it up to me. He's breathing hard when I'm done, but so am I. He hooks his hands under my arms to help me get to my feet, pressing our lips together and dipping his tongue into my mouth like he always does when I've swallowed his seed. He growls deep from his chest as he sucks on my tongue. The primal sound makes liquid heat gather between my thighs. I'm impossibly slick, my body preparing itself for his invasion, an invasion that's yet to come. After drying the water that splashed on me while I washed Gabriel, I take him to my bed and make him lie down on his back to avoid putting pressure on his shoulder. I curl up against his side with my head on the uninjured side of his chest. Why did you do it? He asks. Do what? Take care of me? I don't know. deep inside. I wanted to. It frightened me to see him hurt. It doesn't matter. He cups my sex, stroking a thumb over my clit. It was sweet. He delves a finger into my wetness, teasing and torturing me until he drags a long and slowly detonating orgasm from my body. Later, as he holds me in his arms, I say, "Gabriel? Are you ever afraid of dying?" He answers without hesitation. "Every day." The big, strong man next to me suddenly seems too vulnerable for my liking. "The scars, are they from fights like today?" He gives a low chuckle. "You didn't think I was born all ugly, did you?" I cup his cheek. "That's not what I said. I just tend to think of you as indestructible, untouchable." He places his hand over mine and rubs his cheek against my palm. "I'm not untouchable, Valentina. I'm far from it." He moves my hand to his chest. "I do have a heart." I kiss the flat disc of his nipple and put my ear on his chest, just for good measure. The beat is strong and rhythmic. It sounds sure and secure. I have to believe nothing will happen to him. If he's gone, our 9-year deal is off and I'm dead. Magda won't honor the agreement, of that I'm certain. I push up on one elbow to trace the embossed lines on his face. "Tell me how it happened." He catches my hand. "Not tonight." "Nothing?" I ask with a tinge of disappointment. I want to know his history. I want to understand the man inside the sadist. "All you need to know is that I regret them." He moves my palm to the bandage strip covering the cut on his shoulder. "For this scar, on the other hand, I'm eternally grateful. I hope it never fades." "Why?" "Now, it's a reminder of you." He kisses my temple. "Go to sleep. It's late." The balance that started shifting between us from the day he bought me food tips to the one side of the scale, the side where affection surpasses the physical. There's no denying it any longer. I'm starting to care for my jailer. Maybe I'm suffering from Stockholm Syndrome. Not that it matters how or why it happened. Whatever sparked my feelings, they're real. When I wake up sometime in the middle of the night, he's gone. I don't even have a scar to run my finger over. No raised tissue on the surface of my skin that can make me feel closer to him. All I have are the marks he's leaving on my heart. My period is over. My breasts and womb are no longer sensitive, but my body is primed with a powerful arousal that won't grant me relief. The orgasms Gabriel gives me are no longer enough. He made me like this, a pathetic addict who needs, craves, and aches, and still he denies me the remedy even when I beg. I lie in the dark for a long time, trying to make myself come. It's not my fingers, my touch I need. It's not even Gabriel's touch. I want him inside me. I don't care that he's ruined me or that he still holds my life in his hands. He's conditioned me, and I'm at the end of how far I can go. I'm at the edge of a dark abyss, and even if I fear the plunge, I can't turn back. Getting out of bed, I pad barefoot through the dark house. He won. Again.
Leaving Valentina in her bed is becoming harder. I want her next to me all night. It's an impractical and dangerous notion. If Carly sees us, or Magda suspects I'm taking it further than the game I claim, I stand losing both my daughter and the woman who dominates every minute of my waking hours, and even my dreams. The alarm beeps, pulling me from my thoughts. The red dot on the bedside monitor warns me of movement in the house. Our security is top-notch, but even the best systems are breached. I check the doors and windows on the monitor. No entrances have been compromised. It can be Carly or Magda. Still, I'm not taking any chances. Whoever is moving through my house is at my door. The creak of a floorboard confirms the information on the screen. I reach for the gun on the nightstand. When the door opens with a soundless swing, I take aim. My finger freezes on the trigger. It's Valentina's slender form that fills the doorframe. A bolt of shock runs through me for how easily I could have shot her. I lower the weapon. The fight leaves my body, but my muscles don't relax. They're tense, with a different kind of anticipation. Her white negligee glows pearly in the moonlight. She's staring at me, biting her lip. Putting the pistol back on the nightstand, I flick on the lamp for a better view. I know what she wants. We both know why she's here. I told myself I couldn't do it, and yet I've never wanted anything more. I've belted and spanked her without breaking a molecule on her skin, but if I take her tonight, I won't only break her virgin body, but also my promise. Call me a weak man, but I already lost the battle the night Rhett locked me in the gym. It was only a matter of time. Tonight is a night for broken promises. I hold out my hand. Come here. She walks to the bed and crawls over me. Every inch of my skin catches fire. By the time her pussy is resting on my crotch, I'm a live wire, ready to explode, but I hold back, giving her control, because she came to me, and it's the sweetest moment of my entire fucked up life. I'm not a man to make small talk or beat around the bush, especially not when something as serious as this is about to happen. When she doesn't move for several beats, seeming uncertain of where to go from here, I roll us over, pinning her underneath me. Get rid of the clothes. I give her just enough space to pull the negligee over her head. Impatient, I pull the panties down for her, and she kicks them free. She wiggles my pajama bottoms over my hips to my knees. I have to lift first one and then the other leg to get rid of them. Stretched out on top of her, naked, static sparks detonate in every cell of my body. My cock is heavy and painfully hard, cushioned between her soft thighs. My balls ache from too many weeks of celibacy and not enough hand and blowjobs. The need to drive into her is so fierce that I have to grit my teeth. I slip my hand down our bodies and dip my fingers between her legs. She doesn't need foreplay. She's dripping wet for me. The nights of training her body to want and need me are like one long, endless stretch of foreplay, and finally, it's about to explode. I've sucked and tweaked her tits, eaten her pussy, and played with her clit for weeks. What's left is to give her every inch of my cock. Once I'm inside her, there's no turning back. Her body belongs to me, but when I'm done fucking her, her soul will be mine. Once my seed spills in her womb, no other man will touch her again. Not tomorrow. Not when her 9 years are up. Never. Spreading her pussy lips with my fingers, I push the head of my cock against her entrance. My head spins as if I'm on a high. I keep my eyes open. I want to see her face the moment I sink into her. I want to remember her expression. I want to know what she looks like when she comes on my dick, and what she feels when I mark her inside with my cum. She meets my stare head-on, as bravely as I thought she would, and takes my face between her hands. Gabriel. She inhales deeply. There's hesitation in her voice. I'm ready, so is she, or she wouldn't be here. The only thing preventing me from tearing into her is the air trapped in her lungs, along with her unspoken words. Say it, I grit out, my need painful. Placating my libido, I grind down on her pubic bone. The tip of my shaft edges forward, dipping into the slick heat that awaits. Almost violently, I jerk back before I lose all reason and fuck her before she's spoken. I know you think I'm a virgin, she says softly, but I'm not. For a moment, I'm shocked to a pause. How could I have ever been so wrong? My judgment concerning a woman's body is always on the mark. All this time, I punished myself, withholding from her, making promises I couldn't keep. To think, I almost let Quincy have her. I shake the thought. It's not where I want to take my mind right now. Whoever her lover was, the asshole didn't know how to get her off. In that regard, I'm definitely her first. Anyway, I don't care who her first was. It doesn't matter, because I'll be her last. It makes no difference to me if she's a holy virgin or a whore. I don't care, I say gruffly, grabbing my shaft and directing her to the place that will give me access to her soul. It's when you take a woman, when you make her fall apart in your arms, that you see the nakedness of her heart and all the truths she hides from the world. It doesn't matter to you? She asks, with a tinge of disbelief. Of course not. I nip at her ear. Why would it? I'm no virgin either. I just don't want you to be disappointed. Disappointed? Is she crazy? Believe me, nothing about this. I rub my dick over her slick folds, can be disappointing. A sob tears from her throat. It catches me so off guard I almost miss the flash of terror that sparks in her eyes. Valentina, I pull back an inch. If you're not ready, you have to tell me now. I used seduction as my weapon to lure her into my bed with good reason. There's no pleasure in it for me if it's by force.
Is that why you waited? You thought I'm not ready?
You know why I waited. What are you really asking?
Do you...
She bites her lip.
Do you want me? I mean, do you want me like this?
Goddamn, Valentina. This isn't an act of kindness or a favor. The reason you're here is because I wanted to fuck you from the moment I first saw you. And a second from now, I'm gonna fuck you like I've been wanting to for a very long time. So you better tell me if you're having second thoughts.
It's not that. She sounds ashamed. I don't know what to do.
Wait. If she's not a virgin, but she doesn't know what to do? A cold feeling of rage unfurls in my gut. Bitterness fills my mouth. The truth lodges like a stake in my heart. You were raped.
Yes, she whispers. But it was a long time ago.
The pace of my breathing quickens, changing direction. I go from turned on to raving mad. Fucking furious. I'll kill the son of a bitch with my bare hands, peel his skin from his body, and cut his muscles from his bones. Forcing back my emotions, I let go of my cock, easing up to cup her cheek. Calmly, so as not to frighten her with my force of anger, I ask, "Only once?" While holding my breath for the answer.
Only once.
When? She turns her head to the side. I won't let it go. I need to know. Look at me. She obeys, her eyes begging me not to push, but the more she holds back, the more uneasy I get. I brush my thumb over her cheek. When? She purses her lips and stares at me with big eyes, as if I'm going to judge her.
I was 13.
When I lay my hands on that motherfucker, he's going to suffer. There's only one question left to ask. Who?
I don't know.
She's not lying. She doesn't blink or look away, and her pupils don't dilate. She was a random victim. I'll find and kill him for her. If she wants to, I'll give her the gun and let her shoot him herself. If it's the last thing I do, I'll make the bastard pay. I kiss her lips. It wasn't your fault.
I know.
I'm glad she told me. This will require a different skill and attitude. Technically, she may not be a virgin, but physically, emotionally, and mentally she's the virgin I took her for. Easing over her body, I cup her jaw and hold her in place for my kiss, brushing our lips together. She gasps into my mouth, but lets me take control. As she can't move her jaw, I'm the one nipping, sucking, and molding my lips around hers, taking and giving and making the moment mine. After a while, she starts fighting me, wrapping her arms around my neck and pulling me down for a deeper kiss, her tongue tangling with mine in an urgency that sets me ablaze. I shift my palm from her jaw to her neck, squeezing with dominant control. She embraces the touch, arching up into my hand. I pin her to the mattress with that commanding hold while I shift to her nipples, starting a slow seduction of tongue and teeth on every erogenous zone on her body. I nip the insides of her elbows and bite into the flesh where her pussy meets her thigh. I drag my tongue over the insides of her legs and dig my fingers into her ass, pulling the curvy flesh apart so I can lick down her crack to her pussy. By the time I've kissed my way from her feet to her mound, her legs are wrapped around me, and she's sliding her wet sex over my cock, seeking the friction that will bring her release.
I want you,
she whispers, breathing beauty into my room.
I want you, Gabriel, please.
A low groan vibrates in my chest. She's begging me. She wants me like no other woman has wanted me before, not for my money or protection, but to ease the need I so carefully planted and nurtured inside of her. Her pleasure is mine, and I'm keeping it forever.
Oh God, please.
She digs her nails into my back.
Fuck me already.
We're both out of control. I need to be lucid, or I risk hurting her. But she has me by the balls, literally, dragging her sharp nails from my sack up my ass and sending me way beyond sanity. I grip my shaft and squeeze the root hard, praying the bite of pain will keep me within reason. Pushing up on one arm, I pull myself from the vice of her thighs and part her legs with my knee. When she's wide and open, I take only a second to enjoy the sight before I lodge the head of my cock in her pussy. Her lips spread wide around my girth, stretching to accommodate all of me. I have precious little control left. "Look at me," I demand. She opens her eyes. They're hazy with desire and smoky with need, but they're focused on me. I rest my elbows on the mattress so I can cup her face between my hands, needing to catch her expressions like a prayer between my palms. The moment shoves me another inch into her. She gasps, and her eyes widen. She's tight and hot, her unused channel already pushing to expel the foreign object lodged in her entrance. I push deeper, feeding her like a velvet fist around me. I'm big, and she's fragile, small. Her slickness helps, but it's like pushing into a narrow chamber of hot, melting lava. The deeper I go, the more she squirms. I see it all in her face, the shock, pain, trust, and all-consuming need. Sweat beads on my brow and torso. My skin is on fire. Her breaths explode from her chest. "Gabriel." It's a plea for mercy. It's moving too slow. I can drag out the discomfort or make it hurt hard and quick before fucking it all better. Pulling back until only the head of my cock is held in place by the stretching muscle in her opening, I hold onto her face tightly and drive home. Tearing through feminine tissue, I bury myself inside her body as far as I can go. It's the moment I've been dreaming of hearing her sounds, seeing her surrender, inhaling the scent of our sex, and feeling her body stretch for my cock. She's shaking, her fingers digging into my hips. "It's almost over, beautiful. It won't hurt for long." I kiss her jaw and move, taking her with long, careful strokes until her body surrenders just like her mind, her tight channel embracing my dick rather than pushing it out. Her moans turn to panting. It's music to my ears. When she throws her head back, I let go of her face, holding only her eyes. I play with her body, petting her breasts and clit as I stroke deeper and faster, taking everything she can give, everything that makes Valentina a woman. I knead and massage until she's soft and pliant in my arms. She molds like wet, earthy clay under my touch, until her hips start moving to the rhythm of my fingers on her clit. And then it's over. She breaks. Her body sucks me deeper, catching my cock in a trap of painful ecstasy. Her pupils dilate like shooting stars, and her gaze flies away from me like a comet as she comes and leaves a burning trail in my soul. In this moment, she can ask me anything, and I will bust my balls to give it. I'll fetch her the moon and the stars, if that's what she wants, but she only says, "Hold me," and I give her what she desires.
Gabriel's arms are safe around me. He's given me uncountable orgasms, but this one was different. This one was deeper and more intense, stirring the buried emotions I haven't had the courage to look at for so long. After my assault, I shied away from men. The event prevented me from exploring my sexuality. I was afraid to go down that road in fear of uprooting everything I experienced that awful night. But what I shared with Gabriel was nothing like that. It was a carnal, guilt-free, and necessary need. He took my freedom and made my body a slave to his, but right now there's nowhere else I'd rather be. This is where I belong. This is where he belongs. As much as he took me, I took a part of him too. I took something of him for myself, and I'll always keep it in my heart. I feel connected to him as I lie in his embrace, enjoying the afterglow of my orgasm. Now that I've had him inside me, I'm hungrier than ever for more. I'm starving for information that goes beyond the sex we share. I want to know why his beautiful physique is broken. I want to know everything about him. I slide my hand down his body to trace the scar on his knee. Maybe he'll tell me tonight. How did this happen? Got my kneecap shot away by one of our rivals, he says matter-of-factly. And this? I stroke his hip. Baseball bat. And this? As I'm about to cup his cheek, he catches my hand. Shrapnel. Explosion. A debtor tried to blow us up with the building where he was laundering the money he stole from us. Did he survive? He gives me a forced smile. What do you think? Have you ever considered having it fixed? I ask as gently as I can. He replies in a cold voice, "This is fixed." Horror, not because of the ugliness, but because of the sadness, invades me. How did he look before? If this is after. He utters a small sigh. My bones were crushed. Underneath the skin there's mostly metal. The risk of the muscles collapsing with more plastic surgery is too high. I wrap my arms around his waist, holding him close to me. Saying his mask of pain doesn't bother me will only sound frivolous, even if it's true. I rest my cheek on his chest. Your foot? All of his muscles go tense. It takes him several seconds before he relaxes under me again. Just when I thought he wasn't going to tell me, he says, "My mother shot me." I barely manage to swallow my gasp. Why? His tone is flat. When I turned 12, she gave me a gun and told me to shoot a man. I couldn't. A lump in my throat restricts my speaking. I can't imagine the kind of childhood he had. A part of me relates to that and understands. There's a quiet accord between us as we hold and comfort each other, two damaged people with different scars. It's still dark when Gabriel wakes me with a kiss on my mouth. I stretch, feeling the roughness of his loving and the tenderness between my legs, even if he's been gentle as I guess he can be. Good morning. He nips my bottom lip. His cock is hard against my hip, a reminder of last night and of what I can have again. Gabriel. My voice is breathy. He chuckles. If I weren't so concerned about not letting you sleep enough, I would have been buried between your thighs an hour ago. I shiver at the thought, desire making me wet. A shadow creeps into his eyes. You have to go. Carly will be up soon. It's a logical comment, but it hurts, and that's a surprise. Maybe it's because creeping down the dark hallway like I have something to hide, like what I did with Gabriel belongs in the shadows, kills the emotional upsurge of last night. You're right. I sit up, clutching the sheet to my breasts. Groping under the sheets, I find my nightgown and underwear and pull them on. As I swing my feet off the bed, he grabs my arm. I pause, but I don't look back at him. I'm scared he'll see what I feel in my eyes, that I care. He kisses my shoulder and brushes his lips up the curve of my neck to my ear. When he releases me, I take it as my cue to leave. I close his bedroom door quietly behind me and glance down the hallway to make sure it's clear before I sneak back to my room. The room looks empty and cold. Out of nowhere, I have an attack of inexplicable loneliness, followed by a bout of guilt because Oscar is sleeping alone on my pillow. I pick him up and hug him to my chest. Poor baby. I'm sorry I left you all alone last night. He purrs and rubs his face against my jaw, not halfway as unsettled as I am.
There's not much information in the country Anton can't lay his hands on, so when he tells me Lambert Russ's phone records have been wiped, I know the rat I smelled is real. I order Anton to dig into Lambert's history, present and past, and to flag anything suspicious that comes up, especially pertaining to the Haynes family. Lambert did business with Marvin. I want to know why he stopped brokering the car cloning business after Marvin's accident. I also want to know who Valentina's rapist is, but I'll have to get more information from her. A delicate situation I don't look forward to. I already checked the police records. The family didn't report her rape. My own research produced nothing helpful. The remainder of my time is dedicated to preparing for tonight's dinner meeting. Despite her protests, I ship Carly off to Sylvia for the weekend. I don't want her around for the dinner party, not with the guests Magda invited. We'll be catering for the Ferreira drug cartel men, Jeremy, the owner, and his son and future heir, Diogo. It's tough enough stomaching the political pawns Magda likes to entertain. I don't like hosting drug thugs in our home, but Magda is wheeling a deal to open a new financing franchise in Westdean, the heart of Jeremy's territory. From the minute they walk through the door, I dislike them. And Jeremy has the close-set eyes of a crocodile who acts asleep to snatch his non-suspecting prey. He grabs my hand in a jovial shake, treating me like his long-lost son, while Diogo, a smooth, handsome man in his late 20s, gives me a measuring look that tells me he finds me too short. Not in the literal sense, of course. He may be 10 years younger than me and blessed with a whole body, but I have years of experience over him and a darkness he can't begin to understand. They kiss Magda's hand and accept the cocktails and hors d'oeuvres she offers in the lounge. Their chit-chat and pretense at civility irritate me. If it was up to me, I would have cut through the bullshit and gotten to the point. We want exclusivity in their area. They want our money. Simple. We pay a kickback, and no other loan sharks get in. A deal also guarantees that we don't fuck with them, and they don't kill our men. Magda navigates through a whole family tree of questions about their wives, kids, grandmothers, and whatnot, before she finally announces dinner is served. The tux I'm wearing for the occasion, these affairs being sordidly formal, is too hot. I hook a finger between my neck and the collar of my evening shirt and tug. The bow tie gives marginally, but I only breathe easier when Valentina walks into the room in her somber black dress and hair pulled back in a neat bun in the nape of her neck. I watch her unabashedly as she serves our starters. The curve of her neck is long and elegant. Her fingers are slender, but they serve with efficient and sure movements, not spilling a drop of the gazpacho soup. A smell of raspberry fills my nostrils as she brushes past me, the fabric of her dress touching my chair. She's present in all of my senses, even in my thoughts, with a memory of how her body surrendered to mine last night. My cock hardens. It's a good thing we're seated. It's hard to tear my attention away from her, but I need to concentrate on the negotiation and the subtle nuances of the conversation. I'm good at reading body language. I may not say much, but if our partners try to fuck us over, I'm always the first to get the hunch. With difficulty, I return my attention to the people seated at the opposite side of the table, but as I lift my eyes, I notice the way Diogo stares at Valentina. Anger explodes in my body and courses through my veins. The only thing that prevents me from reaching over the table and drowning him in his bowl of soup is that Valentina leaves the room, cutting his ogling short. I can't wait for this night to be over. Halfway through the main meal, we come to an agreement. The minute we shake hands on the deal, Magda's tenseness evaporates. She becomes the engaging hostess she's known for, drawing Jeremy into a friendly argument about the opposing rugby teams they support. Diogo asks for directions to the bathroom and excuses himself. The skin between my shoulder blades pinches. I push back my chair. "Excuse me, I'm going to check on dessert." Magda shoots me a look, but I'm blind to the annoyance in her eyes. My soles are quiet in the carpeted hallway. In the entrance to the kitchen, I come to an abrupt halt. Valentina has her back pushed against the wall and a kitchen knife aimed at Diogo. Chapter 12. The knife in Valentina's hand makes me see images that will haunt me forever. A million scenarios pop into my head. The thought of Valentina hurt or Diogo's hands on her pulls me from reason into a state of madness. In a flash, I pounce on Diogo, throwing him on the floor. I slam his face into the tiles and pin him down with my knees, my fists pounding into his ribs. The sounds of his startled grunts and bone cracking aren't enough. I want him to cough up blood until his lungs drown in it. "Gabriel!" Valentina's voice pierces the ugly bubble of my rage. The piece of shit under me is still struggling for his life. Slowly, I return to the distant part of humanity inside me, the little that's left in my soul. Magda and Jeremy come running into the room, probably alarmed by Valentina's scream. "What in God's name?" Magda grabs my arm and tries to pull me off the man sprawled out on the floor. I shake her off, but it's Valentina's round, fearful eyes that beckon me to let the scumbag go. Getting to my feet, I adjust my jacket. "Get up, you son of a bitch." "What the hell's going on?" Jeremy takes Diogo by his shoulders to help him to his feet. Pulling him up is a struggle. It looks like he has trouble breathing. I must have knocked the wind out of him and broken a few ribs. His nose is bleeding from the blow on the tiles. Magda flutters around like a hen. "Gabriel, are you out of your mind?" I jab a finger at Diogo. "If you put a finger on her, asshole, you're dead." Magda and Jeremy turn their heads toward Valentina. She's still standing with her back against the wall, her body trembling and her eyes fixed on Diogo. I take the knife from her hand and leave it on the counter. Lowering my head, I put us on eye level. "Look at me." Once I have her undivided attention, I ask, "Did he touch you?" "No," she whispers. Magda starts speaking, but I cut her short. "What did he do?" "He wanted to... She doesn't have to say it. I know men like Diogo. I know the things they want to do. I turn to Diogo with cold calculation. "If I didn't walk in here, what were you going to do?" He spits blood from a split lip on the floor.
Have myself some fun. She's only a maid, for Christ's sake. My voice is soft, but my anger carries in my tone. That gives you the right to assault the people living under my roof, the people I protect? Hold on, son. Jeremy steps between us, his palms raised. You're not going to risk our newly forged relationship over a maid, are you? I turn my vengeance on the old man. She's not just a maid, she's property. Jeremy knows what that means. In his and my world, property is more untouchable than a man's wife. You may fuck someone else's wife and pray you don't get caught, but you don't lay a finger on another man's property without accepting that you're going to get your hand chopped off. Whoa! He utters a nervous laugh. Honest mistake. Diogo didn't know. We're used to helping ourselves, if you know what I mean. Are you insulting me by insinuating my house is a brothel? Jeremy, Magda takes his arm. Your son needs medical attention. I'll cover all the costs, of course. I do apologize for this unfortunate misunderstanding. It's a subtle way of telling him to leave. Magda knows me too well. I'm a lunatic, and right now, I'm about as stable as an active volcano. Jeremy frees his arm. Let's go, Diogo. Diogo sneers at me as he passes, clutching his side. He should have just carried on walking, but the mistake he makes is to turn back in the doorway. You know what your problem is, honey? He says to Valentina. You're too damn pretty. It's a shame you're also a prude. I think you would have enjoyed it if I jumped you against the wall. Just like that, my frayed control unravels. Magda grabs for the hem of my jacket as I lurch forward and catch the cocksucker around the neck. Jeremy is cussing and trying to pull my arms away from his son, but not 100 horses are enough to tear me away. I drag him by his scrawny neck to Valentina and force him down on his knees at her feet. I grab a fistful of his perfectly styled hair and jerk his head back. Reaching for the same knife Valentina used to defend herself, I push the tip against his lily-white pretty boy neck. Apologize. Diogo, Jeremy says from behind me, a tremor in his voice. Do as he says. Gabriel? There's consternation in Magda's tone, but she doesn't touch me. The situation is too volatile. I'm too unpredictable. A flick of my wrist, and Diogo's life will bleed out at Valentina's feet. Only, I don't want another man's blood on her conscience. She already feels responsible for Tiny's death. Diogo doesn't deserve the guilt she'll suffer over him. I'm sorry, Diogo grits out. I jerk harder on his hair, making him cry out in pain. Say it like you mean it. I'm really fucking sorry. I lodge the tip of the knife under his skin. Beg. A thin trickle of blood runs down his neck under his collar. Forgive me, he says. I beg you. I look at Valentina. Do you forgive him? She looks at me with owl eyes. Yes. You're more compassionate than me. I yank him up by his hair until he finds his feet. Get the fuck out of my house. The deal's off, and you better pray I don't run into you in the street. You better stay very far away from me. When I let go, Diogo stumbles to his father. Magda is paler than the white tiles on the floor, quiet for once. Jeremy gives me a narrowed glare, but he takes Diogo's arm and escorts him from the room. You don't insult a man in his own house. Jeremy knows this. He knows I can cut Diogo's throat for that, and none of his business associates will retaliate. Magda rubs the back of her neck. I'll see you out. She turns to Valentina. You better go to your room and not come out until morning. If I see your face before, I may not be able to suppress the urge to kill you. When it's just the two of us in the kitchen, I take her in my arms and give her a hug. You okay? She nods. I didn't want to cause trouble. You did the right thing. I kiss her nose. I'm proud of you. You put your life at risk. They're going to kill you. They'll try. But so is every other criminal and cop in the country. You're mine, Valentina, and nobody touches you.